My mother has a millionaire boyfriend, and I think she's being scammed.
What? You don't think your mom can pull a millionaire?
I, 31 female, have gotten many messages from my mom, 62 female, about this new love interest of hers, and she seems very happy. I want my mom to be happy, as it has been almost 20 years since she's been in the dating world. I'll refer to this man as Robert. The more I listened about him, the more I got suspicious of Robert. And something seems very off. By the way, this comes from user HonestKick5400, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/UK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
And we are here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments.
There is no
As
us.
OP says.
There is no us. There is no we.
There is only E.
Yes.
As OP says. Here's what I know about Robert. He works for Costco, same company as my mom, and is high up in the ladder, executive status. He claims to be personal friends with the CEO. He goes around from state to state doing promotional sales and gets 2% commission on each sale, coming home with a bunch of products to give away as gifts. He is loaded in the bank and owns 2 houses with a boat, one of his houses being about an hour away. 2 houses with a boat? 2 houses with boats?
Is one of them a houseboat?
Is it
Both
2
houses have boats?
2 houses attached to a boat?
Maybe 2 boat houses?
The boat pulls the houses behind it.
Or a boat house.
It's a tugboat with 2 full-size.
Is one tugboat pulling both
two-story
houses? Or does he
suburban
have
houses.
a tugboat per house?
He
Does he swap the locations of the houses
he
every
put
once in a while?
both
just for
houses on a
fun?
raft,
Okay.
rafts, and pulls them around with the tugboat.
But just one tugboat.
And he,
Or are we talking
yeah, just one
one
boat,
boat
2
per
houses,
house?
1
Okay.
boat, 2 rafts, 2 houses, 1 owner.
Important information.
Robert
here.
Costco. I don't know anything about his personality. Mom has been in a relationship with this guy for the last 7 weeks, and she is over the moon. But again, I can't help but feel something is very wrong about this. Red flag number 1. When Mom showed me pictures of the alleged house an hour away, there was no furniture. Not even a fake plant. When I asked her about it, she said, "Oh, he just remodeled it." I told Mom that someone can still take pictures of their remodeled house with furniture in it. Red flag number 2, he's canceled on planned dates with Mom the day of, claiming to be at work out of state or in the hospital sick. My favorite one being he had to stay behind in California and do an audit of their gold because there's been a robbery into the 6 digits. However, when I looked it up, there was nothing to be found about this alleged gold robbery. Red flag number 3, in the first 3 weeks, he claimed to have bought my mom her dream car, a brand new Porsche 911. But they can't pick it up until December 17th, even though they are out for sale now. On top of that, he offered my mom a relationship prenup, stating that if she breaks up with him, she gets $500,000, but if he breaks up with her, she gets $2 million. I asked Mom if she has proof that this document exists or if she knows the clauses in it because I feel like Robert is trying to buy her out. Mom's excuse is his lawyer has it and is writing it up. Dude, if anyone on earth is giving you an agreement where no matter what, they have to at least give you $500K if the relationship doesn't work out, is scamming you. That is not a real document. No.
We
No.
got past the fact that he said he's in Costco's gold sales.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
You
auditing
didn't hard
Costco's
stop
gold.
there?
We had a lot of our gold stolen.
We still went to, well, show me the agreement.
Red flag number 4. He planned a day to meet my brother and me, saying he's so excited to meet us. If you guessed that he canceled the day of, you'd be correct. With all my suspicions of Robert, I told my mom not to sign the prenup and retire, and that I don't have a good feeling in my gut about this guy. Each warning was quickly dismissed. Now, on to yesterday. Mom asked me if I could house sit for her Friday through Sunday, while she and Robert go up north about an hour away for a weekend trip. Her original request 4 days ago was only for one night, which I was already hesitant about. I told my mom that I was not comfortable watching her house while she goes away with a guy I have a lot of uncertainty about. It's not that I don't trust her, but it's that I don't know him, so I can't trust him to make sure she would be safe and taken care of. Mom told my brother, and I've been getting the wrath from both of them, which I'm not understanding. My brother being upset is confusing because he expressed the same concerns that I have, and I truly believe my mom is being scammed. But she won't listen to me. Am I the a-hole? There is an update. What is the scam here? That's what I don't see the angle. Because it's like, I mean, clearly, look, him canceling all of those times day of is ridiculous and suspicious.
But he hasn't asked her for like money or anything.
Right. So where's the scam? Is it like,
right? Is he like in it for the long game? Like
he
we're not gonna get
wanted-
this till.
yeah. If he wanted like a signature, right, to like for like I would say it's got to be like some kind of identity theft, right? Like
Identity
that's
theft
usually
is
what these
not a
kinds of things
joke,
are,
Jim.
huh?
Identity theft is not a joke.
No, it's not. It's very serious, and apparently Costco's gold auditor is out here trying to buy you Porsches and say, hey, sign. If I break up with you, I have to give you $2 million.
Right.
Nuh-uh.
So I'm like,
Stop it. That's
all
not
we've
real.
gotten so far is that he said that he would pay you money.
And you've never met this guy. Not once. Mm-mm-mm. No. All right, here's the update. Okay, so this situation is weirding me out more and more as the days go on. Mom called me last Wednesday to tell me that I was right about Robert and she was a mess. Supposedly, Robert was on his way over to Mom's house with $1 million cashier's check for her to retire. Turns out that Robert's money was put in his son's name when he got the vid.
How
Time frame
convenient.
unknown. And he wasn't expected to live, so the son was getting fraud alert messages from the bank and cussed my mom out, calling her a gold digger and claiming that my mom is only with him for his money. Mom called Robert and explained everything to him, so he told her that he was going to meet up with his son and explain everything to smooth things out, and then he would be over. If anyone guessed that Robert never showed up, you would be right. Mom also told me in the call that Robert owes her $533 from when she wired him money when he lost his wallet in California over a month ago. There it is.
There's the scam.
There's the
Found
scam.
it.
$533 scam.
You shoulda said that part sooner, Mom.
I tried knocking some sense into her and thought I got through, but she called me not even 4 hours later to tell me that they're staying together. It turns out that Robert is a real person. He went over to Mom's house last night to take her out to a local Mexican restaurant. I was watching the baseball game at my boyfriend's parents' house when I looked down and saw a voicemail from my mom. I didn't listen to it, but saw the word tequila in the translated voicemail, and that caught my attention.
They're just listening to the song, and they got that one line at the perfect time, you know?
Oh, I hope so. For context, my mom is a recovering drinker after being arrested when my brother and I were just 4 and 5 years old. When I say she had to claw her way back out to get her kids back in her life, I mean she had to claw her way out. So I am protective of her in that aspect because 1, I fear she could go back down that spiral again. And 2, what happened when I was a kid still impacts me today. So I called my mom back immediately. Turns out that voicemail was Robert playing a little joke just to get me to answer the phone, and my mom went along with it. They continued the joke before he said, by the way, I'm Robert. Nice to meet you over the phone. I said to him, tread lightly because that is not a good way to introduce yourself to me. This better be a joke or I will take my boyfriend's car right now and go down there to dump that tequila down the drain. Robert admitted that it was him that left the voicemail and not my mom. I understand my mom is an adult and can make her own decisions, but I took her at her word that it was a joke and there was no tequila. Fast forward 3 hours later, Mom calls me, wasted, on the couch, and I quote, He said he wants to see me at my worst.
Whoa.
So, can we call the cops on this man yet? Is that possible?
No, I don't think so. Not yet. I don't
Mm,
know, though. I would send him to the jail.
I would like to.
I didn't like him already, but now I'm one more stupid joke like that away from stonewalling him for the reason I said.
It wasn't a joke.
Yeah, that
He
wasn't a
actually
joke.
did it.
He got your mom drinking tequila. Boo, boo, bop. That was not a good introduction, and with what happened in my childhood. With all this being said, and I know Robert owes my mom money, it makes me wonder why she hasn't been paid back yet. Surely, if he has as much money as he says he does, that wouldn't have been a problem. Now, I definitely feel like Robert is taking advantage of my mom. I get to meet him tomorrow, hopefully, and then tell my mom what I truly think, which my thoughts have not changed. And there is another update. Do we think he just runs away and skips town? I think he's like, she gets a little drinky poo, she falls asleep, I steal all the valuables in the house, and I leave.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, why isn't OP still going over to check on her mom?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have trusted that man.
Yeah.
So I hope that we checked that so that she doesn't get robbed right now, and then that we keep her away from him, yeah?
Yeah. Update number 2. My boyfriend, brother, sister-in-law, and I met Robert last night. After having dinner and talking a little bit to Robert, a lot of the red flags check out. He isn't part of the roadshow team for Costco. He's the marketing director, so he oversees everything $1,500 and up and makes sure all 68 stores get the product they need shipped out on time. His job does require him to be on the road quite a bit, and he's been in that position for 28 years. Personality-wise, he is the shy type that won't start the first conversation, which I understand as I am that way myself. I asked him further questions outside his work, like what kind of hobbies he has outside of fishing. When I spoke to him, his answers were very short, and he didn't try to interact with us as much or try to get to know us. I found that very odd for someone who was so excited to meet us. The story of his son being trustee of his accounts checks out. In April of 2020, Robert was expected to pass away from the vid, and the doctors told him that if he made it through 2 weeks, it would be a miracle. Robert forgot that his 23-year-old son was in charge of his accounts and threw a fit when he saw the alerts for the cashier's check.
So I am confused though, because if you're in this situation where you have something that you're potentially not going to make it out of, and you want to pass on your stuff to your kid, you wouldn't switch it over to them then and there. That would be something that was enacted upon your passing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a financial guy, but that doesn't sound
Really
right.
weird.
And it's also not something that if you have like millions of dollars and you give
Right.
them to your child and they have that in an account, it's not something you just go, oh, I forgot. I forgot to set that back
That's so
up.
funny.
Oh no, I forgot to set that straight.
Mhm.
Ah, that's not real. So, however, his stare is very off-putting and it gave me a weird feeling. My brother and I spoke about it, and I told him that the look in his eyes gives me an unsettling feeling, and usually when you notice that about somebody, that person is hiding something. I can see my mom is very attached to this man so soon, and it gave me the impression that she's only in this relationship for the money. Money! And she doesn't like him for him. Like she finally found her ticket to retirement. They don't seem to have any common interests, and I can see where she's changing for the negative. She allows him to drink as much as he wants and chain smoke every hour. When I or my brother lived with her at Grandma's house when Grandma was alive, that was extremely frowned upon. 2 things I didn't necessarily like from my mother's end. First one is she pulled just me aside and asked me to talk to Robert more to get to know him. For me to be put on the spot like that, it only resulted in me giving her the what the F look. I did pull her aside, and I explained further to her why I looked at her the way I did. I said to her, I didn't appreciate being put on the spot the way you did to me. I can tell he's the shy type that won't strike the first conversation, but I'm the same way. When you have 2 people that are like that in the same room, there will be awkward silences, and you can't put all the expectation on one person to keep conversation flowing. She only gave me a half apology for it. The second one is that Robert looked at me when my boyfriend and I were getting ready to leave, and he said, "So now that you've met me, will you be willing to watch the dogs so I can take your mom out for a weekend?" Mom got excited for me to answer, and I had both eyes on me once again being put in the spotlight. I told Robert that I mean no disrespect, but I'm answering this to my mom. I turned to Mom and said I'm fine with watching them for a day, but not a whole weekend. I feel like sometimes people in this entire family forget that I'm the only one that works 6 days a week and weekends with my schedule being all over, so you're going to have to ask others to help you. And by the way, I'm going to ask you to listen to full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, just search OK Storytime. And you can listen all the livelong day.
Yeah.
We have a little bit more story.
This is a wild one.
They seemed okay with my answer, but both admitted they weren't happy I wouldn't watch the house and dogs while they went away this weekend.
You also have another
Did you
kid.
know you can pay people to do that as a service?
You also have another child.
I turned to Robert and said, "It's no disrespect, but much like how you explained to my brother protecting Mom with the whole situation, I just wanted to meet you first. I had a lot of red flags waving leading up to tonight, and I'm not going to let my mom run off with someone I don't know." My boyfriend and I left, and as soon as we got home, I left it with him that every once in a while is fine, but I don't want it to become a regular thing. I'm going to give Robert a chance and continue to come around for family dinners and give it more time, but my guard is still very high. Any questions from anyone on here, I'm willing to answer. And that is the end of that story.
My mother lied about my father not wanting me, and now I discovered the truth.
Can you handle the truth?
I, 26 female, was raised by a single mother. My mother always told me that my father had abandoned us and that he never loved us. And she always stressed that she had to work twice as hard to have a daughter. For some reason, those comments always made me feel like everything was my fault, and sometimes I felt like my mother would have been better off if I didn't exist. By the way, this comes from faithlessnessdo4780. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Carly's boyfriend, Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, when I turned 16, my mother was seriously ill from cancer. At that time, we were living in a rented house and the owner had asked for it. At that moment, I found out that my mother had not paid the bills or the rent. Mom could not work, so I had to leave school and start working. The first year was hard. I ate very little, and it was more coffee than anything. The chemo, the work, everything was very exhausting. Even so, I never regretted taking care of my mother. I felt like it was the least I could do after she sacrificed everything for me. After a while, my mother overcame cancer, and I decided to resume my mandatory studies. At first, my mother did not agree. She told me things like, "This is humiliating that you finish your studies when I was never able to do so because I had to take care of you." At first, I thought her words made sense, but my boyfriend encouraged me to finish them. Now, this last year, my boyfriend has encouraged me to go to university. He even told me that I could take out a loan to pay for university and put him as an executor. He has a very good salary. It's so sweet. When I raised the idea with my family, everyone was happy except my mother, who made me feel bad again. I told her that this was my decision and I wanted to study because I wanted to get better opportunities. This time, my mother accused my boyfriend of putting absurd ideas in my head, that I was only going to get debt in vain because I was no good for my studies and I most likely would leave them halfway, like I've done with everything in my life. I reminded her I never left something abandoned of my own free will, but she reminded me that I left school because I was stupid. That is when I reminded her that I did it because she needed me. She said so many hurtful things at that moment. She told me that she never needed me, that I only extorted her, and she preferred to pass away before I took care of her.
Oh my gosh.
That is when I broke out and told her that I regretted having taken care of her all those years, and that I no longer wanted her in my life. My boyfriend says I was right to vent, but I feel like I was very cruel to her, and my family also thinks I was cruel. I do not know what to do. Maybe I should apologize. It is the only family I have, but I feel like I am hurt a lot. Am I the a-hole? Update. After the fight with my mother, I decided to move in with my boyfriend. During the time I lived with my mother, I took care of the expenses such as electricity, water, food, and rent. I told my mother that I would help her for 2 months while she looked for a job, and then she would have to fend for herself. But I decided to cut that agreement after finding out she did a horrible thing. I talked to my partner about what I said here, and he agreed with some comments about my mom being a self-absorbed person, and that she had done something to make my father leave us, and they were right. I tried to investigate. It was difficult since no one wanted to give me an answer, until my mother's sister, who was a little interested, offered to take me to someone who might know about my father in exchange for money. Finally, she contacted me with a sister of my father, and I was able to meet him. He was happy to hear from me. Our first conversation was via video call. I discovered that my father always paid money to my mother for me, and that he sent me gifts at Christmas and birthdays, gifts that my mother passed off as coming from her. I also found out that he's married, and I have a 16-year-old brother and an 8-year-old sister. And he also invited me to his wedding. When I asked him how he met my mother, he told me a pretty horrible story. They met on my father's sister's birthday. My mother and father had spicy sleep, and she became pregnant after that night. My maternal grandparents demanded that he marry my mother, but he disliked her. In the end, my paternal grandparents demanded a DNA test, and if I was his daughter, he would be financially responsible, but nothing more. He did get to know me, but he did not want to marry my mother. He could not even see her. She harassed him and demanded a wedding. In the end, when I was 4 months old, my mother gave him an ultimatum. Either marry her or forget about his daughter. He could not imagine being with a woman like that and told her that he would take care of me, but it could not be anything from her. My mother decided to leave the city and cut all ties with him until I was 1 year old and had a lot of debt. Then she told him that she would send him photographs of me in exchange for paying my expenses. He accepted, and for years he asked to see me, but she refused. He could only see me in photos. After talking, I understood the whole situation. I asked him if we could meet face to face, and he accepted. I planned to visit him at his house and meet his entire family. When I found out all of this, I cut off all financial aid to my mother. She came to my house and demanded that I pay the bills. I told her that she had seen me with my father and that now I knew what kind of woman she was. That drove her crazy, and she went ballistic. But my boyfriend quickly took her out of our house. I did not see her again until the day I was going to travel to meet my father. She called me crying, saying that her killer had come back.
Do we believe this? Do we? I know it's not like that's a very serious thing.
Yeah.
But after all the information that you found out from your father,
I would immediately
to
be
show,
worried.
yeah, exactly what kind of woman your mother is. So is it a relieving thought, Carly, that your mom has always been this kind of person, and like she wasn't just lashing out on you, or I'm trying to like let us know in the comments, because I don't think relieving is the word, but to know that your mom is just a crappy human being, all in general, or like she was trying to be a crappy person in that like time frame when she was going through everything, and like right now, like how would you feel if you knew that your mother was living just like her entire life, just not?
I mean, it completely changes OP's life too.
Yeah.
Everything that you thought you knew is just completely different. That's like existential crisis level, like sitting back and reevaluating everything.
Yeah, the person that like has raised you and you thought like was the best and like told you that your father sucks, he ditched you guys, and like he's a piece of crap. Roles reverse, kind of in a sense.
Yeah, at least your dad's chill, I guess.
Your dad's cool. Like hopefully, I mean, sounds like he's really cool and trying to support you.
And your boyfriend's very supportive.
I would have brought up like, hey, so what? I mean, what happened with all that money and all that stuff that Dad sent for me, all the gifts?
Well, I think she did kind of come at her with that. You don't get any more financial help. You had it for years, and I didn't know about it.
That's crazy.
I thought for a few moments that she was telling me the truth, and I almost went to her house. But my boyfriend was smarter, and he told me that before believing her, I should call the doctor who treated her before. I did exactly that and discovered that it was not true. I simply sent a message to my mom telling her not to come back to look for me, and I blocked her everywhere. I finally met my father. We talked and cried a lot. His wife was very kind to me, and so were his children. He showed me all the photos he had of me and the letters he wrote to me, but she had sent them back to him. I still do not know how to face all this. I just know that I do not want to see my mother again. P.S. I applied for some universities. I await a response. If everything goes well, I will study pedagogy, since my dream since I was very little. Edit. Some have doubts about my father, and I'm going to clarify them. Regarding whether it was ethical for the doctor to give me information about my mother, do not forget that I was the one who took care of her throughout her illness. So I have authorization to know all of her medical procedures. Some asked me where was my father when I was a child. Dad tried to be in my life, but my mother ran away with me for months. She practically hid me from my father. Only when I turned 1 year old did my mother contact him.
And that was at a time where she like, I just need money. I'll give you pictures of your child for money. I didn't need you for a year, but yeah, your mom's very manipulative, very toxic.
He never knew where I lived until I was 6 years old, and he tried to fight for my custody, but my grandparents and my mother invented many things to win custody and to have them denied visits. When I turned 18, he and his wife contacted me on Facebook, but I blocked them. At that time, I fully believed in the truth about my mother. And a few years ago, I was contacted by my brother, but I also blocked him for the same reason.
That's crazy. Dang, you had a chance, but your mom put that seed in your brain, which sucks.
As for some who said about revenge, I cut off my financial support and told everything she did to uncles, cousins, and other relatives. I know from a few cousins that my family disowns her and anyone who is on her side. By the way, you could be on our side and listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime.
Good for you, OP. Honestly, shout out to your boyfriend as well for pushing you to, get your education, to help you out with your education, and to, help you separate and move forward from your mother, who's very toxic. And look at you now. You have a relationship with your father, who's always wanted to have a relationship with you, but it was just never happened because of your mom. And it looks like you have a great future ahead of you. And you have a great family who's going to support you with your father and your brother and your sister. I would again tell your mom, which you already have, I'm assuming, that I'm tired of the lies. And
I think she said she's not talking to her mom anymore.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure that what that final message was like, tired of it, bye. I can see why everyone abandoned you.
I also made sure everyone knew about her lie about the return of cancer. I do not know if that can be called revenge. Regarding my mental health, I'm going to a psychologist 3 times a week. I'm still working on that, and I know that I have a lot of healing left to do. I hope to leave all of this behind and start a new life with my boyfriend and my father and his family. We are planning to move to the city where my in-laws are from, taking advantage of the fact that my father lives only 1 hour from that city. And that is the end of that story. My mother tried to force a prenup paper on my fiance, so I shredded it.
Like string cheese, baby.
I, 41 male, am getting married to Alex, 32 female, who is what you might call a dream woman. She is everything I want in a woman. Beautiful, smart, kind, and she likes many of the interests that I have. She even took an interest in the same music as me, which is amazing all in itself. By the way, this comes from Cadillac Man 1982-12. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, we both work in the tech sector and met through a dating section of a certain social media site. I hit like, fully thinking, no girl is too beautiful for any man.
Wow, what a true
catch.
modern love story that is.
She messaged me back, we exchanged info, met for the first time, and that was that. Less than a year later, I proposed, and she said yes. One important detail is that shortly before we met, I was the lucky recipient of a rather large financial uplift. I decided to still work at my job, as it is a great gig, the money is good, and I get along well with everyone. I was able to buy my own home free and clear, plus get a nice new daily driver and a weekend ride. Alex knows my financial situation and has never asked for a dime of my money. Since she is my partner, I have helped her out, the most recent being paying off her student loans.
What?
Fully.
Okay.
Before this, we were invited to a charity gala by her uncle, and she went dress shopping. She fell in love with one, but nearly cried when she saw the price. I insisted on paying the difference because she looked way too pretty in it to pass up. Fast forward to now. It is a month before the wedding, and I get delivered a large envelope with "From Mom" on it. Back when I bought my house, I paid off the remainder of my parents' mortgage, and they decided to stay where they were, which I was fine with. I opened the envelope and saw the word prenup and immediately froze. I am against prenups because I think they are for self-absorbed Hollywood types that cannot handle a partnership. So I called my mother and asked, "What the heck?" She said she had the son of a friend who was a lawyer draw up a prenup. Since I don't understand legal language, I did not open it. I let a friend who is also a lawyer look at it. Basically, this prenup was written with my uplift taken into consideration and totally screwed Alex if we divorced. The house would belong to me, the cars would belong to me, and any wealth split would be based on the income difference when we first met, which would mean that I would get 80% and she would get 20%, if that. But there was also a clause about pregnancy and childbirth. Alex is what she calls personally pro-life, but not pro-suffering. The prenup had an infidelity clause that would reduce Alex's share to 0. Yes, you read that correctly.
That seems...
I think that's common.
That's
in a
very
prenup.
common, and that sounds pretty legit.
Well, it's taking away anything that she's contributing, though. Like, even if she put a certain amount into the marriage, she would get nothing if they divorced.
So infidelity. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We've seen those infidelity clauses
Yeah,
before.
infidelity clauses make it. I feel like it just makes it harder to get divorced and adds another layer to it. So I don't know. I think that makes sense.
I personally do not think that there's a situation where anybody should be left unable to get out, because if they get out, they have nothing.
Got it. I see prenups as also like another layer of like, oh, I want to make it harder to get divorced, if that makes sense. It's like there's so many repercussions that like I don't want to, but I see your point too.
I just worry that he would have full financial control over the situation. And I'm not saying that he's a bad guy. I'm just saying that if he turned out to be one.
Well, no, his
Got
mom.
it.
I think his mom made this. His
right.
mom is the one.
He's not about to take it.
He was the one who's like,
I'm just
I don't like those
saying
things.
that personally that's a red flag to me. But he's against it, so then it's not.
Gotcha.
Needless to say, I was pissed. I drove over to my parents' house and demanded an answer from my mom as to why she would have such a crappy prenup drawn up, even if I was willing to sign it. She then let loose with apparently everything she wanted to say since Alex and I first started dating. It is all lust on my side, and I'm using Alex's flat tummy, hourglass figure, pretty face, and big front airbags to prop up everything else about her. It is all money on Alex's side, because apparently women that look like her do not go out with guys that look like me unless they have a ton of money.
Thanks for the confidence boost, Mom. That's really sweet.
Apparently it is because I am not muscular and have short hair with a bald spot. When I said Alex is not a gold digger and has never once asked for a dime and she makes her own, my mom said, "Of course she doesn't have to ask. You bail her out of everything anyways." Mom finished by saying that if Alex refuses to sign the prenup, she's a gold digger, and if she does, she's genuinely in love with me. I finished by saying I'm not signing it, and it is going in one place, the paper shredder. I shredded it right there. I told my mom we love each other and we're not signing a prenup. End of story. Mom said, "Hope her letting you fondle those D cups is worth it when she leaves you for a Brad Pitt clone and takes all your money."
Are you
Really instilling
Mom,
confidence,
are you projecting?
Mom?
Would you leave Dad for a Brad Pitt clone and a lot of money? I don't know. Like, that sounds like you're projecting a little bit.
That is when I told her to go pound sand and that she just got rid of any chance of being invited to the wedding. Since then, people on my mom's side of the family have texted and called to tell me I was way too harsh and she was only looking out for me. I don't think I was. Am I the a-hole? We have some comments, but what say you?
Nah. Also, weren't you the one who paid for like their house, like their mortgage?
He paid
and
off
everything?
their mortgage.
Yeah, like who
and
are?
he bought his own house already.
I was gonna say if the money was theirs,
then maybe they'd
then
have
you
a
get a
say.
But if this is OP's, let's go with the quotations, hard-earned money, because I feel like
It's not.
I feel like he did something more than that.
No, he just received it.
I feel yeah, pretty much. And they're just jealous of they're
He
going
didn't
after
do
his
anything
money.
for it.
I know, which is crazy. This guy's like, I got drivers, I got all this money.
Yeah.
Who are you to say, I gave you all these nice things and you can get to control my money?
Yeah. I would say, like, as long as he's weary that it could be for money, since they met and immediately got engaged. I don't think that it is from the sounds of it.
Right.
But
I guess there is caution to be like, okay, she's after your money. We haven't gotten any of that information of how Alex is with OP, but
Right.
seems genuine and she's not after his money.
We have some comments though. Commenter 1. Not the a-hole. Writing a prenup without your input is over the top. A prenup is not a bad idea to protect premarital assets, but this one is up to you and your fiance. Commenter 2. In the 1 year you dated, you already fully paid her student loans and asked her to marry you. That is really quick. I mean, your mom made your prenup with you in mind and basically made it super unfair, but you seriously need one. I'm not saying Alex is using you or whatever, but this is one quick wedding. People change. You barely have time to know each other and could still be in the honeymoon phase. You could draft a prenup that's much more fair. Just make sure you don't get totally rolled over if the worst is to happen. After thinking about it, I am open to signing a prenup, but one that is fair, not one that treats my fiance like a gold digger. For the people saying he's going to blow through his money, I only used a small fraction of my uplift to pay off my parents' remaining mortgage, buy the house, a daily driver, a weekend ride, and pay off Alex's college debt. The rest went into the bank. While I am still working, my income goes a lot farther as I have no outstanding debt. Yes, I showed it to Alex. A couple days after I stormed out, my mother called and said, "Do you really think I gave you the only copy?"
That's actually that's very true in modern day. That's very funny.
So I took a risk and showed Alex the prenup. I expected her to laugh or to lose her mind, but she did neither. Her response, either the lawyer who drafted this is bad at his job or he is not a lawyer. He Googled prenup template and decided to make it as lopsided as possible to make me look bad.
Dang, good for Alex. That's crazy. She read through it. She's like, this is a
Who
joke.
wrote this?
This is dumb.
She is willing to sign a prenup, but a fair one. She is a tech fiend, savvier than me. She used to date gym rats because she was told to match dedication, but discovered they had no personality besides the gym.
Wow.
Her friend told her to date someone with shared interests. She saw my figured, he's a cute nerd who works in tech, liked me back, and the rest is history. I only told her about my money a month after we started dating. That seems really quick. A month in?
Yeah, I mean, on the first date, you're like, oh, what do you do for work?
But he still works. Like, he totally could just be
Yeah.
like, yeah, I do this for this tech startup. And then a couple months in, you're like, by the way, I might be really rich.
I don't know. He keeps buying me really fancy dinners, like caviar bumps.
But he makes
left
a
and
good
right.
amount on his own. So, like, he totally could have gotten away with just being like, this is my job. I got a good job.
Just plays it off really nonchalantly.
Yeah. One of her friends once asked, he is balding and has a dad bod. Why? Alex said, so he doesn't have a six-pack. Who cares? Hair is just hair. I have enough for the both of us.
That's kind of cute. That's a very cute way to go about it.
I think the friends just need to shut their mouths. Like,
If that's the same friend who's like, stop dating gym guys. Find someone that likes your same interests.
right? She's like, I listened to you.
I took your advice and now you're
What do you
saying
want?
backtrack? Shut up, friend.
I used to get nightmares about her rejecting me if I lost everything. I saw a therapist who helped me understand my brain was struggling to accept that someone like Alex chose me. On a trip to the Keys, I told her I loved her and she said it back.
Aw.
She then took off her bikini and said, bed now.
Then what?
Nightmare gone. Alex loves that I am direct. On our first date, she asked me about my fancy electric car, and I said, you'll never see a fancy electric car in my garage because their build quality is garbage. She said the honesty was refreshing. By the way, You know what else is refreshing? Listening to more full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. It's a little bit more.
If your mom's tripling, doubling down, if she keeps sending you those copies of the prenup, just send her string cheese. She's like, that's what I'm doing with it.
I'm shredding it.
Personally, I would say go at your own pace. If this is the pace that you think is right and Alex wants the pace at for your relationship, do what you do. It's your thing. Have fun. But I would be saying, like, you are doing this very quickly, all within a year.
It's a little quick. We got a little bit left. I told her she should tell my mother all of this. So we went to my parents' house. Alex said, I saw the prenup. I will sign one, but not that BS. She said even if the money disappeared, she would still be with me. And she cannot wait to marry me. I said Alex completes me and she is my missing piece. My mother took the rest of the prenups and shredded them. I think you're good without this, she said. Then added that the lawyer who drafted it had his license suspended. I asked Alex if my mother's allowed at the wedding. Alex said, as long as she behaves, she is invited. Looks like the prenup thing is settled. Have a great weekend, Redditors. And that is the end of that story.
My mother ended our relationship. Now she wants to take it back.
Too bad, so sad. You're too late.
No takesies-backsies. Sorry. I'm gonna try and make it relatively short. Spoiler, it's not. But for context, I, 26, female to male, have been my mom's 54 female emotional regulation for my whole life. I know she has her own perspective on what's been going on, but for extra perspectives from people close to the family, including people close to her, some people mentioned to me and my siblings a few years ago that the way she treats us and our father is not normal. By the way, this comes from user BeginningsStar620. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So my closest friends who I confide in about the things she said to me have suggested that I go no contact or end my relationship with her. Another friend has suggested that she's emotionally harmful. My therapist thinks that she has self-absorbed traits, and my sister has said I should cut her off and that she might do the same. My brother's ex, who planned to marry him and have children together, explicitly said that our mom would not ever be allowed near her children. I've spent the last year and a half trying to work with my mom to improve our dynamic and explain to her how and why I'm hurt by the way she treats me. I never had the intention of ending the relationship and have been trying really hard to get us into family therapy or to have a mediator or other unbiased third party to help us work through this. And she has refused because she doesn't trust therapists, which if someone's a narcissist, they'll never enjoy therapy because it's them being called out on things they should do differently.
Yeah.
We've been texting on and off about our issues and have talked in person once. It hasn't been going well. Since we're not having any outside help, I've been trying to understand her perspective better to see how we might move through this. Some of what I've learned about her are the following. She believes that intention is way more important than impact. In practice, this means she does not apologize for hurting someone's feelings unless she meant to hurt them and feels bad about it. When someone tells her they've been hurt by something she says, she just explains that she didn't mean to and expects things to be fine again, which is not how that works.
Yeah.
She believes that all she can do if she has unintentionally hurt someone's feelings is explain herself. Apologizing is not on the table. Trying to understand why it hurt is not on the table. Committing to not doing it again is not on the table. She genuinely believes that a bad mental health day is more than enough of an excuse to treat people poorly and lash out. Our last conversation via text was in September. She had claimed that she still didn't know what she had done to hurt my feelings. So how could we possibly move towards repair if she didn't know what we were repairing? I sent her a bullet point list of only the things we had already talked about that had happened in the past year and a half. And her response was that this conversation was absurd and she was busy until November, trying to get a narcissist to go, hey, I should change the way I behave. I should change the patterns in my life and the way I treat people.
Yeah,
That's a uphill, head against the wall battle.
for sure. Because she was just saying, like, we can talk about this, but, like, not until November because I'm busy. Is that what she said?
It's really just more that she's like, well, she thought she had OP being like, well, I don't even know what we're fighting about, so You're going to have to. And it's like, oh, don't worry. I have the whole list. I have bullet points.
Yeah.
And then when it's like, oh, you actually have a structured argument or like you're coming at me with some prep. Well, actually, now I'm just going to call this absurd. And I won't be talking to you until November.
That's so ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm just calling it now. Just go no contact, dude. You're not going to get through this. This whole time, I had hoped we could work through this and understand each other. I thought we could beat the odds and actually have repair. Her track record of repair is not good, but I had hope. In past conflicts, she has ended her relationships with my older brother, her own brother, her father, her cousin, her best friend, and boss. So I was working against the odds, but surely we could talk like normal adults. I wanted her in my life, and I want my dad and siblings more present in my life too. I haven't been able to spend as much time with them during the past year and a half because of her. Apparently, anytime I'm mentioned in her presence, she shuts down, gets angry, and storms off. I don't want to hurt their relationships with her, so I've been reaching out less often, particularly to my dad, who I miss a lot. Don't do this. You're not hurting the relationships. Your mom is hurting the relationship.
Absolutely. This is not your fault. Not really your problem to fix.
Talk to the people you want to talk to.
Yeah.
Yesterday, she messages me out of the blue to say she doesn't see how we can work this out. I ask her what she means. She says the same thing. She doesn't see a way forward. She doesn't know how to fix this. I tell her it sounds like she's ending our relationship and ask her to clarify if that's what she was doing. She confirms and says she doesn't know what else to do, that she's been willing to apologize for one way she hurt me, has been a bit of a pity party about me deserving better and to having a life without being hurt constantly by my mom.
Maybe talk about it. Maybe try to figure something out. See what you're doing wrong. See what you could do better.
Right, but the narcissist can't do that. She's going, oh, well, you're saying that the things I do hurt you, which would make me bad, which I can't live in that reality, so I'm not accepting that. It's actually your fault that your feelings are hurt and not my fault for hurting your feelings with the things that I did.
Right. You deserve so much better. Giving her an excuse, making it seem like this is like a good choice by the mom from the guilt tripping. Not true.
Everyone has the capacity to change, so does his mom, but you, OP, are not equipped with the tools that you would need to try to help her or have her change in a positive way.
Yeah.
I repeat what I've been saying this whole time, that I'm just asking for an apology and an attempt to understand how she is hurting me and a commitment to behave differently. I tell her if she wanted to apologize, I've never stood in her way. If she wanted to understand, she could have listened to any of the times I've explained it to her. I told her if she wanted to treat me differently, she could have started. Lastly, I tell her it's disappointing that she's made this decision, but I won't stand in her way. She replied with a single sentence apology for one of the hurtful things she's done. I can't help but read it with a sarcastic tone, although I think she may have intended it as a half-butt olive branch or an attempt to keep talking and undo her decision minutes earlier to end our relationship. I haven't responded. I don't think I want to. I don't think she's actually willing to hear me out or change how she treats me. Is that an a-hole move to accept her decision to end the relationship but reject her minuscule apology? There's an update. No, you're not the a-hole. Your mom's a narcissist.
Absolutely.
And that doesn't necessarily make her evil, but it just makes her behave in a way that's like you're not going to get through to.
Yeah.
The way she's acting, you won't be able to have a tangible impact on her actions.
Right.
Because they're just that hard to unprogram after a certain amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, since she's so like manipulative, she's using all these guilt tripping things.
If she goes, you know what, there's no way forward, can't fix it, we're going to just have to stop communicating. And you go, so there's 100 different ways we could fix this, but if you're going to say that, then that's what we'll do.
And that's true.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Do that. Don't let her back in with a sarcastic apology that she doesn't mean, and you know she doesn't mean it. Update. Over the last few weeks, I was holding strong in my decision to not accept her takesies-backsies. She messaged me several more times since then, each time with some unhinged prospect that made it harder to not respond. She has decided to speak to her lawyer and strategize without me at length about whether or not they could get me a restraining order against my childhood abuser. She said she wouldn't move forward until I okayed it and followed up a week later. She added a big old spiel about how if we were to keep trying to work things out, she thought I needed to consider that every event has 3 points of view, mine, hers, and what really happened, and that I needed to consider her point of view about the times she has hurt me.
What?
The core of her thing is she's like intent means more than what actually happened,
Yeah.
which is just backwards. It's like, actually, what really happens trumps the intent, because you have, this is what I meant to do. Here's the thing that happened.
Right.
The thing that happened now holds more weight than what you wanted to happen.
Yeah, I feel like that only works in situations where it's like, oh, sorry, like I meant to, I can't think of an example, but like very small things. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I just meant to clean your room. I'm sorry that I put things in the wrong spot. You know, like that kind of thing. Very little things like that with just straight up hurting people. It's like, what?
Well, it's just the argument of what did someone mean versus how were they perceived. She also went on a bit of a rant about how boundaries, saying I can have personal boundaries that affect only me, but that it's not okay for me to have boundaries that she has to abide by in order to have a relationship with me, also fully backward.
Exactly.
She seems to think that we need to mutually agree to my boundaries, which is not how boundaries work, and that if she doesn't agree, she doesn't have to respect them because it would make her feel unsafe in the relationship. I broke down and responded, nothing too long. I said, hey, don't go talking to a lawyer about my situation without me there. I told her that her earlier decision to end the relationships and then do takesies-backsies resulted in a loss of trust in her. I told her I was not willing to continue the back and forth messages because it wasn't working and suggested 2 ways forward. Family therapy or give up on resolution, go to just minimal contact, 1 brunch a year for a catch-up, no family dinners or holiday invites. I said she could pick either or none, but I wasn't willing to keep doing what we've been doing. I also responded to her rant about boundaries. I have boundaries regardless of whether or not she likes them, and she can ask questions about them to understand if she doesn't agree, but pushing them results in me reducing or taking away her access to me. She responded on the 23rd with perfect timing to blow up the family right before Christmas. She wrote a freaking novel, responding to a dozen of my earlier messages, plus my most recent one, sentence by sentence. She would copy and paste a sentence of one of my messages, then respond to it over and over. This coming from the woman who's like, we have nothing to talk about. I don't see a way forward.
Right.
Actually, here's a complete dissertation on everything I think and everything I see.
Yeah. Sounds like you got a lot on your mind, actually.
She's doing a power play. She's power playing you. She's doing it right at Christmas, and then she's going to say, and this is your fault. You ruined Christmas by sending all these messages, which is not true. She ruined Christmas by responding to them the day before Christmas Eve like an unhinged maniac.
We see you. We know your tricks.
I see through you. I haven't seen anything like it before, and I don't know what she hoped to actually accomplish here. Most of her responses were, I don't know how I have hurt you. I don't know what you're talking about. Or, I don't understand. But a lot of these things were explained at other points in the same message, or we had talked about them earlier. So, what the heck? Yeah, it's because she's not in your reality, dude. She's in her narcissistic reality. And she's like, well, what do you mean you were hurt? I don't get it. Well, I don't understand what that means. Oh, I explained it in an entire paragraph back here in that message you quoted. Yeah, but I don't get it because I can't hurt your feelings. Receiving that message was a firm turning point for me. I've had several points in the last year when I've thought this would be the end and had started to accept that there was no real relationship for us. A key moment was the unanimous response to my previous post. So thank you, Reddit, for affirming my experience and supporting me. I took a couple of days and responded yesterday so that she wouldn't be able to blow up Christmas Day when the rest of my family would be with her. I was, of course, not at her Christmas. I told her I'm giving up, that she doesn't understand what boundaries are or how they function in healthy, respectful relationships. I told her that it's not worth it for me to keep explaining my pain just for her to act like I'm keeping her in the dark. And by the way, I'm not going to keep you in the dark on the fact that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify or iHeartRadio or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, and boy, oh boy, you've got a sweet treat for your ears to nibble on. A num 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 num.
Forever. You could do it forever.
For at least 60 consecutive days.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit more story left. Do you want to just get into it?
Let's just get on into it.
I wrote a paragraph about the types of ways she has hurt me. I thought y'all might like the final paragraph in which I'm absolutely being unkind, but I don't regret this one. Quote, it feels like I have a gaping hole in my life where a caring mother is supposed to be, and instead it's just you. There are people in my life who are far more deserving of that space, and I'm no longer willing to reserve it for someone who hasn't earned it and isn't willing to set aside their ego for the sake of their relationship with their child. Well said, OP. Yeah, it's bad. That sucks. No one wants to go through that, but
Absolutely.
it's better to realize this and go, hey, this isn't working and I'm going to stop wasting my energy on it.
Exactly.
You're carving through a brick wall with a spoon.
Yeah.
Slow, agonizing, near futile work. But that is the end of that story. I refused to fix my mother's relationship with my sister, and now I'm the villain.
I can't do everything.
There's a trigger warning here for substance use disorder. I am the middle of 3 girls and am what you'd call the typical middle child. I'm the one always trying to solve problems and find middle ground when my family fights, and there have been some huge ones. By the way, this comes from user Lorana Pastius, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments, as OP says. My parents are divorced, and at first they co-parented unhealthily, but later on when my dad started dating, everything fell apart. My mom, while engaged and living with her fiancé, felt it was inappropriate that my dad let his girlfriend, now wife, live with him. She thought it was indecent because me and my younger sister were still in school and lived with him. This caused my family to go through a giant upheaval for around a decade where my stepmom and mother were constantly fighting, dragging the kids into the middle of it while my dad just kind of held up his hands saying, "Come on, guys.
Come on, guys.
Come on. Can we all just get along?
Why can't we be friends?
During this, my need to fix things was at its max, which inevitably resulted in me being yelled at and berated on all sides. It took me years to figure out ways of managing all the stress from this. However, the one that had the hardest time was my sister. She started sneaking out of the house, drinking and otherwise partying. Since the adults were too busy fighting and hating each other, they didn't have time to notice her falling apart. At the time, I was in college and no longer living at home, so I wasn't able to see how things were for her, and she was afraid of being scolded, so she didn't tell me. Years later, she had a severe drinking problem. I won't go into details of how bad it was for her, but I'll just say her and her husband made the same combined income as my husband and I, but they were always broke. So I figured maybe they had some budgeting issues and offered to help her sort through her finances. And that's when I found out they were spending nearly half their income on booze.
Yeah. I feel like once you get stuck in that, it's hard to get out.
I was terrified. I reached out to both of my parents for help on how to talk to her about it, but they both downplayed it. My dad, in his typical joke about important things manner, said, "Well, she's not a heavy drinker if she's not going to meetings." What? What does that mean? What? While my mom outright refused the idea that her perfect precious baby could have any issues. Instead, she blamed it on my sister's husband, claiming he must be the one spending the money, even though my sister flat out told me it was her. Cut to years later, my trying to help her caused her to pull away. She was embarrassed, knew what she was doing was wrong, and didn't want me to see it. Her relationship with my dad started to deteriorate, which my mom was all for. My mom got excited whenever I talked to her about things falling apart and claimed, when you finally cut your father off, he'll see the light and leave that woman, then things with him and your sister will get better. It was nonsense. Yes, my sister didn't like my stepmom, and yes, she and my dad had issues, but us kids going no contact with him wouldn't fix anything. Then it happened. My sister actually went no contact with my dad. For about a year, I was thrown back in the middle. My dad and stepmom asking me constantly why she cut them off. Me telling them I don't want to be in the middle. My mom saying my sister's doing the right thing and I need to do the same. I was stressed and miserable. I started ignoring phone calls from my dad and recording diary-like crying messages on my phone to myself. But then something happened. My sister almost passed away from her drinking. She ended up in the hospital for a week, and afterwards, she quit drinking completely. It wasn't the first time she had tried, but this time it stuck.
Yay.
Good.
That's good. Really tough.
Need a little NDE
Yeah.
to get the juices going,
Mm-hmm.
saying, oh, that can't happen anymore. She has now been sober for 3 years. And after she got sober, she apologized to me for everything. Things took a big change. She started talking to my dad and stepmom again, and we even had a great visit, just me, her, and my youngest child. However, at the same time, my mom wasn't happy. She felt my sister was pulling away from her, which was true. My sister realized every time she talked to my mom, she ended up more stressed, her heart rate up, and her anxiety up. So she started pulling back. The more she pulled back, the more anxious my mom got, and she dumped those emotions onto me. Your sister needs help. She's pulling away from everyone. This isn't healthy. Hey, Mom, you're not actually everyone. You're one person.
Yeah, you're one person. She has a complicated relationship with you. What is OP gonna do? Like, genuinely, what do you expect OP to do?
I told her that my relationship with my sister hadn't been this good in years and that my sister was sober and working on her mental health. I was proud of her, but things just got worse. They had a small fight, and once again, instead of admitting fault or trying to see from anyone else's perspective, my mom put the blame of their fight on me.
How did she even work that one out? You're not even there.
She told my sister she only felt that way because I manipulated her, and by extension, my stepmom manipulated me. My sister had had enough of that and cut contact.
Good.
Over the next year, my mom tried everything to get me to fix her relationship with my sister. She didn't outwardly blame me for their falling out, but did say it was my job to mend it. She even came to visit me the first time in 2 years, by the way. But after learning my sister wouldn't come, she shut down and quit engaging with me for anything meaningful. I realized I was just a conduit to my sister. I always knew I wasn't my parents' favorite. My dad liked my eldest sister better, and my mom loved my youngest, but this still hurt. After that, I pulled back from my mom, too.
I think you have to. She keeps blaming things on you. I'm like, you
Indeed.
can't have a relationship with someone who, like, everything that goes wrong in their life is your fault.
When it's like acutely their own
Yeah.
fault as well. So I pulled back from my mom, too. I call on holidays and about once a month to check in, but when "how are you" is met with "horrible, I'm depressed, my kids hate me, and you don't care enough to help me," I kind of had to slow that down too. Then a few weeks ago, it happened. My mom's birthday was coming up, and she suddenly messaged me at 11 at night with a sarcastic message about not sharing a video on Facebook. I was confused, but looked at the video, and it was some clickbaity thing about loving moms and how they need love too. I was like, oh yeah, I don't really use Facebook for stuff like that. I only post pics of the kids to keep family that lives far away updated. And she went off. Paragraph after paragraph, yelling at me. At the end, she said she no longer had 3 kids, just 1, and no longer had 5 grandkids, just 2, my older sisters.
Dang, she cut a lot of people off in one go.
I hope you're ready for the consequences of your actions, Mom. I was freaked out, but it was late on a school night, so I suggested we just talk about this the next day. However, the next day, I found one more message saying I chose this by not helping to fix things with my sister, and then she blocked me everywhere. To be fair, I did choose not to help to fix things, but I didn't do that to hurt her, and I've explained why I did multiple times. 1, it's not my place. Over the years, every time I play middleman, I'm the one that end up hurt. I've never successfully fixed anything and just end up as the punching bag everyone uses to vent their frustrations. And 2, I understand my sister's perspective. My mom has a very unhealthy codependent relationship with my sister. She wants to be involved in every decision my sister makes, and she can be very intense. I understand that my sister is working on her mental health and can't handle my mom. I'm trying to right this as fair as I can, but don't think I'm perfect in this, especially in my younger years. Yes, I was a child in high school, but still, I was highly emotional and would cry and yell to get my point across. You were a teenager in high school.
Again, your mom is, not a good mom, and she's putting a lot of this, like, mental burden on her daughters to distract from her failings as a parent.
Exactly. Now, after realizing how easy it was for my mom to cut me and my kids out of her life, it just really hurts. It feels like I never really mattered, like my kids never really mattered. In the end, this is probably just another manipulation. She's thinking I'll get so upset that I'll do what she wants, but I won't. And my sister won't fall for it either. But by the way, you can fall in love with all the full episodes with stories like this you can listen to on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. Just search OK Storytime, and you can listen until your ears fall off.
Oh, well, we hope they don't, though.
Don't do that.
And it hasn't happened yet, but there has to
We
be a
haven't
first
had
time.
any complaints.
We do have a little bit more story left. I think we all know how we feel. Let's finish this story.
Yeah.
In fact, when I showed her my mom's messages, my sister only reaffirmed her choice and became extremely angry that mom would do this. In the end, I don't want to see my sister fall apart again. My mom might like it when my sister is a mess because she's more obedient to her, but I don't. I don't want to get that phone call from the hospital again, and I'm proud of her for her sobriety. Thanks, OKOP fam, for listening. So this is more for me to vent than seeking advice, but since I listen to OK Storytime every day and love the community here, I thought I'd scream into the collective and hear your opinions. It's a bit long, so I apologize in advance. Don't you worry.
Don't you worry
And
about
that is the end of that story. Yeah.
I-
Congrats on your sister's sobriety.
Agreed. And
Your
I feel
mom's
like
trash for not like immediately, I don't know, being more concerned
supporting
about
her.
her well-being versus like winning
yeah.
against your dad.
Well, I feel like, you don't want to put your sister's sobriety at risk. And I feel like your mom does that by inciting arguments and all of that jazz. So I feel like just creating that boundary with your mom, maybe no contact, is the best way to go. Or at least maybe, I don't know if you said you were going no contact, but at the very least, much lower contact.
Indeed.
Yeah.
My mother took me off her insurance because I said my dad was nicer.
Well, you should have said your mom was nicer.
There's a trigger warning for emotional. I, 23 female, and my mom, 49 female, I've never really gotten along. Growing up, she treated me differently from my siblings. I'm the second oldest of 4, and she was always stricter and harsher with me. By the way, this comes from user MoistWest4212, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So if you do something different, let us know in the comments. As OP says, if I brought home anything less than an A, I'd get grounded. Even 1 B on an assignment meant trouble. My siblings never had that rule. On top of that, she always commented on my weight, calling me the fat kid even though I was thin. She never said this to my siblings, just me. As I got older, I realized she liked getting a reaction out of me. At first, I defended myself, but when I stopped, she escalated and even got physical. On my 18th birthday, while I was still in high school, she kicked me out. By then, I was already staying with a friend most of the time just to get away from her. Now, as an adult, I hardly speak to her. Again, at family events, we might exchange a few words, but that's it. Recently, I was at my sister's place, and she had my mom on speakerphone. I was in the background talking to my brother, and he asked who I thought was nicer, mom or dad. Without thinking, I said dad. My dad wasn't great either. He wasn't around much and could be harsh, but compared to my mom, he is nicer. I also talked to him more, though not a ton. My mom overheard, asked what I said, and I repeated it. She snapped and said she'd never speak to me again. I said, "You're saying that like it's a bad thing. Honestly, it sounds like heaven." She didn't hang up on me, but ended the call with my sister, who was the one talking to her. Later, my sister texted me that my mom took me off her insurance. I never asked her to be on it anyway. She added me without telling me because it lowered her own rate. One day, she just said, "Hey, I put you on my plan." I didn't argue, but now I see it was just another way for her to control me. She's done stuff like this before. Like when I was younger, she put my phone on her plan and shut it off whenever she got mad. This time was the same. After removing me, she told my sister she thinks her dad is the better parent. Let him put her on his insurance. I never said better parent. I just said dad was nicer. She also told my sister she hoped my car got impounded and that she could turn it off through OnStar. My car is fully paid off, so I doubt that's even possible, but the fact she said it was ridiculous. I don't need her insurance anyway. Before she added me, I was paying for my own, and after she removed me, I just went back to mine. Meanwhile, my sister said I was too harsh and should apologize because mom has done so much for you. I asked what she meant, and she said she put a roof over your head and gave you food and clothes. That's literally the bare minimum of parenting.
The That's two things.
Oh, she took care of the life she brought into the world?
Oh, she didn't neglect her
oh.
child.
Oh, okay.
Yay, she's a terrific parent.
My mom has gone to my grandparents and aunts saying I was disrespectful and need to apologize. From my perspective, I just answered my brother's question honestly. So Reddit, am I the a-hole?
No. But I mean, like,
You weren't even talking to
yeah,
her.
you weren't even talking to her. You're not the a-hole. However, in this situation, if you didn't literally bow down to your mom, she was gonna, get rid of anything anyway. So, I think you just have to take this opportunity to cut her off, not necessarily, like, if you want to go no contact, but, like, definitely lower contact and just be more financially independent from her.
Yeah, which sounds like is not an issue.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into these comments. Comment 1, is your mom a registered owner on the car? If so, she may be able to cause problems with it. If she isn't, and even if you don't use OnStar, contact them and let them know to ask them if they have the ability to notate on your car's file that your mom is not allowed to have any information or use any of the features. Ask about passwording the file. OP says, unfortunately, she is. I initially got the car from my grandparents, and I guess when you gift a car, or at least in my state, it cannot be transferred from grandparents to grandchildren. It has to be transferred from parent to child. So the original plan was for my grandparents to sign it over to my mom, who would then sign it over to me. However, she never did that. Probably to have something to hold over my head. But yeah, unfortunately, she is registered as the owner. I'm planning on looking into getting a new car next week just to be completely rid of her. I'll definitely contact OnStar. Comment 2 says, your mother is mistreating you. Why have contact at all? What does she add to your life? It's common to have scapegoats and golden children. Look at the subreddit raised by... I got similar being called fat as a skinny kid, etc., and physical and emotional. My parents haven't known where I lived for 12 years now and have had zero contact from me. I've not long stopped having nightmares about them finding me. OP replies, we don't really have any contact. Her number is blocked, which is why she had to use my sister as the messenger. I don't speak to her, talk to her, or hang out with her. The only time I see her is at family gatherings, and even then I hardly go to those, especially if I know she's going to be there. Comment 3 says, objectively, your mom is an a-hole, but your sister is approaching a-hole status with her comment. You didn't ask to be born. It's your parents' job to feed, clothe, and house you. You may want to remind your sister that your mom booted you out at 18, and so her suggestion that a roof over your head merits an apology is wide off the mark. You're not the a-hole. Your family, not so sure. 4th comment, not the a-hole. All you did was state your honest opinion about your mom, who is an a-hole. Don't take their opinion for anything. You don't need the approval of a family in the pocket of an... And there is an update 2 days later. I bet your mom repoed the car or something.
Yeah.
Ugh.
She did something.
Over under that she reports it stolen.
Ooh,
I think,
maybe.
I don't know. I'm saying
well, no,
75% chance she says it's stolen.
Wouldn't OP be on some sort of insurance?
Mom turns into a car.
Who knows?
She's a transformer now.
Yeah.
She's from Cybertron.
She has the Allspark.
But is she an
She
Autobot
steals the
or a
moon.
Decepticon?
She's a Decepticon. 2 days later, growing up with my mom has always been difficult. She is self-absorbed, controlling, and manipulative. Her whole family has mostly tolerated it, which made me feel like I was constantly in the wrong, always backed into a corner. This situation helped me realize I needed to step out of that mindset. I needed to see my experiences from my own perspective and recognize that my feelings and reactions are valid. For instance, talking to my grandmother about the situation confirmed what I already knew. My mom has always treated everyone poorly, not just me.
Oh, well, that's nice. It's comforting
Yeah, you're
to
not
know that you're not the target.
you're not alone.
No,
You're
just
just
everybody,
caught in the
everyone
crossfire.
else.
She's
Everyone
just
is a
firing at
target.
everyone.
Most family members tolerate her behavior to avoid conflict, even my younger siblings. I've always been outspoken about her treatment of us, which has made me seem difficult, but in reality, I've just been honest about her behavior. And by the way, I'm honest when I say you can listen to full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, just search OK Storytime, and we have a little bit more story left. Yeah, I think you're on the right track.
Yeah, I think you just have to kind of limit contact with your mom and limit any kind of connection that you have with her because she's going to use that against you.
Yeah. She's going to leverage any level of power she has
Mm-hmm.
over you legally, fiscally.
Emotionally.
So, yeah, it's time
All that jazz.
to just like close that door and don't look back.
Agreed.
As a result of this recent incident, I've decided to go low contact with my brother. He's been influenced by my mom and started calling and texting me with insults about things I supposedly did wrong, things that only make sense from her perspective. I'll probably also go low contact with my sister because I've realized she shares information about my life with my mom even after I've asked her not to. I want to protect my boundaries and maintain some privacy. Regarding my mom, I'll be moving to no contact. I was already pretty much no contact, but also I'll be including avoiding family functions where she's present and limit any other interactions so that I can protect my mental health and break the cycle of manipulation I've experienced my whole life. There are some more comments here. Comment 1 says, "You're not wrong. As for your sister, get her on an info diet. She can't share what she doesn't know. That does not mean you have to stop talking to her." OP says, "Yeah, I've put my sister on an info diet for now. I won't be talking to her because, like most toxic, self-absorbed mothers, mine has a way of turning siblings against each other. She's managed to convince my sister that I've been talking to her and trashing my sister behind her back, which is insane, considering my mom prides herself on supposedly avoiding my calls. I never call that woman, and insists she doesn't even speak to me. Yesterday, my sister blew up on me over this supposed trash talking, and then immediately called my mom to trash talk me with her, which is pretty hypocritical.
Yikes.
Why she believes anything my mom says is beyond me, especially since my mom is a pathological liar." Second comment says, "You cannot begin to heal until you pluck the splinter out. If you leave it in, the wound just keeps festering. You've done the painful part and pulled the splinter out. Good for you. Now focus on yourself. Heal, grieve if you need to. Take care of yourself and love yourself." Well done, OP.
True that.
And that is the end of
There you
that
go.
story.
My mother blamed me for my family's laziness. I don't regret leaving.
I don't think you should.
I, 23 female, have a big family. I grew up living with 2 younger brothers, 1 younger sister, grandparents, and my mom, 54 female, and dad. I'm significantly the oldest kid in my family, 8 years older than John, my brother, the second oldest in the house.
Oh.
By the way, this comes from my throwaway for U2D. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly,
I'm Angie.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, "My parents never assigned chores to any of us growing up, but I helped out around the house a lot. I've just always been very cleanly and organized, and I never minded it. I was always cleaning, vacuuming, doing dishes, helping cook, doing the family's laundry, etc. Nobody forced this role on me, but nobody really appreciated it or thanked me either. Again, I didn't really mind. I was just being a dutiful daughter and responsible person. I lived at home through college. I grew up in my college town, so I just commuted. A few months ago, however, I had decided that I had saved enough money and got an apartment with some of my college friends. Apparently, since I have moved out, our family situation has become chaotic and my mom feels overwhelmed. No one helps her at all with any chores. She basically told me that she had no idea how much I was helping out around the house until I moved out. Because I was always doing stuff without being asked, she didn't really know who was keeping everything clean and just assumed it was a joint effort from the whole family. Now that nobody's around to silently look after everyone, everything is a mess. Everyone in my home has developed a string of messy bad habits because somebody else was taking care of them all the time. She said it's my responsibility that no one in the family has learned to properly take care of themselves growing up and wants me to move back home.
I'm sorry, aren't you the parent?
Aren't you the mom? Maybe we could give our other kids chores for once. Assigned
Yeah.
chores. I don't know if I should do it. I guess growing up, especially with my younger siblings, I was just always the default babysitter. I was just used to taking care of them. So even when they got to the age where they were old enough to take care of themselves, I was too far in the habit. I don't know how me moving back home will totally fix that, though. But I do feel a little responsible. We have some top comments.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that too. It's like,
Yeah.
so you're blaming me for not teaching them how to do this, even though I'm not their parent. I'm just 8 years older.
Right.
So you want me to move back so I could do it for them
And
instead of them
They'll
learning?
still not learn it.
Yeah, like this is the perfect time for you to teach them right
Yeah.
now.
Top relevant comments from Deleted. She just wants your free labor. From C1 Odd to your mom. Tough crap. You are not responsible at all and owe her nothing in this. 2 younger brothers, 1 younger sister, grandparents, mom, and dad. That is 7 people who can clean the dang house. My guess is it's either A, other issues that your mom is deflecting, or B, she's lazy and figured that since she trained 1 kid, that kid would train the rest. For God's sake, don't move back in. If she needs help, look up maid services she can hire. Duck Run says, normal response, oh my god, dear, I had no idea you did everything around here. How awful. I should have noticed and then set up a roster so that we could all do our share. I'm so sorry. You really shouldn't have done all that by yourself. You have spoiled us, sweetheart. You really are too kind. Here is a book about standing up for yourself and a big thank you present. What your mom actually said. We didn't know you did all that. We will not thank you. We will blame you. We will not change. Now come back and be our slave. We have an update 37 days later.
Oh, wow. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Don't move back.
Don't move back. Stay out of there. You're on your own now. That's good.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised by how much everyone's response to my mother was a resounding no. It made me feel silly for even considering it. There was really no benefit to keep enabling my mom and move back home. Well, Reddit, I'm sad to say that turning my mom down was the first time I had ever really stood up to her. And it did not go well.
Oh,
She instantly started guilt-tripping me, how she had raised me, how family was everything, how I was being selfish and abandoning her. When that didn't work, her insults turned more aggressive. She said I owed her money, the money it cost to raise me and put me through college. My parents paid partial tuition. The accumulation of rent for letting me live at home during college. At no point had we ever discussed this, etc. Again, she pressed that I was taking advantage of the family by not moving back home and helping out. Is she going to pay you for all those years of cleaning? Because cleaning services are pretty expensive, actually.
yeah, exactly. Pull up some of those prices and give
Yeah.
her a quote.
Also, if you're moved out, what is she going to do? Take you to court? They'd laugh in her face if she tried to
Totally.
sue you for the cost of raising you.
Yeah, totally.
I don't want to get into much detail because I'm still very, very sad about how this has turned out, but my mom hasn't responded to my calls in weeks. She antagonized me against the whole family, telling my siblings that I did something ambiguously terrible and am abandoning the family. And by the way, we'll never abandon you because there's always full episodes with stories just like this to watch or listen to on your favorite podcast app. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, any of them. Search up OK Storytime. Oh, we got a little bit left.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely
even
don't
know.
move back. Don't do it. If she's like crap talking you to the other siblings, then
Yeah.
maybe you can talk to the other siblings. Be like, I don't know what mom's talking about.
This is crazy.
This is just what she wants. So
Yeah.
maybe you start picking up the slack so I don't have to move back.
Or-
She can stop being mad at me.
and watch your backs because she might ask for the money it costs to raise you if you cross her.
Yeah, exactly. My gosh.
We got a little bit left. I had a phone conversation with my sister Rachel, who said something along the lines of, Mom said you did something really mean to her. She won't tell us what, but she said that's why she made you move out.
What?
I've never been really close to my siblings, but I'm kind of taken aback how little anyone seems to care that I'm gone. Recently, my mom put up a picture on Facebook of the whole family with me absent, captioned, "The only people in my life I'll ever need." I would cut contact with the mom.
That is terrible.
I would not be talking to this girl.
Oh my gosh.
That is so awful. She's so mean. And
Yeah.
until you can come back and give me like the biggest, nicest apology, you're gone.
Yeah.
I'm not reaching out to you.
That is so
See how long you
crazy.
can go with that house that you can't keep clean because
Right.
you only taught me how to do it.
Yeah, the only people you'll ever need. It seems like you need me to clean your home.
Right. You needed me a little bit ago when you were begging me to get your house in shape.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to focus on my work and my friends to get through this, but I'm in a very sad place right now. Some top relevant comments. Red Rose Beetle. She's going through an extinction burst, stepping up the behaviors that have worked in the past in order to make you bend to her will. Stay strong. When you doubt yourself, just remember that your mother doesn't care about you. She cares about what you can do for her. If she remotely cared about you, she wouldn't be acting this way. And OP says, thank you for this perspective. I think this makes a lot of sense. I'm no longer going to reinforce her behavior and am going to stop contacting her. I get the feeling that she likes that I am struggling to reach out to her and wants to make me suffer. Deleted says, wow, the Facebook thing would kind of seal it for me. I'd screenshot that, and someday in the future, when she calls you needing help with something, I'd pull out that picture and tell her that she should just call every one of the other people, since that's all she'll ever need. Inevitable Name says, if I were really in need of reminding what I meant to my mother, I'd set that as her profile pic in my phone.
Huh.
Teardrop 87 says, first of all, quit calling mom. All you're doing is making her feel better by allowing her to give you the silent treatment. Stop doing that and go about living your life. Heck, unfollow her on Facebook so you don't have to see any of the crap she posts. If any of your siblings call again, ask if they notice how filthy the house has gotten since you left. Tell them you were the one keeping the house clean, and mom's pissed because you refused to come back home and play servant. If they get pissy too, block their numbers and carry on with your life. Things will cool down in a few months and you can reestablish a relationship with your family on your terms. OP, I swear if you quit calling your mom, she'll start calling you again. Right now, she loves that she is punishing you. She feels justified for making you feel bad. Just remember that. She thinks she has the right to make you feel terrible. OP says, it's literally never occurred to me until now that she's ignoring me because she likes that I'm still reaching out and suffering.
Ugh.
Well, now I'm done. I'm honestly so shocked still how much my mom seems to enjoy my guilt. Route 18 says, ugh, the fact that you spent your entire time at that house doing chores without being asked and without any appreciation, only to be harassed when you refuse to go back to a situation makes my blood boil. You made the right choice, OP. You don't need family who treats you like trash. That's the end of that story.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Wow. All because the house got messy.
Yeah.
Because she was doing like half of the cleaning. That is so wild. Like, there's gotta be other instances growing up where the mom was doing things that were like this petty.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
this is
sure.
this is like in her blood. There's no way that someone could just randomly do something like this.
She probably just didn't have the catalyst to realize it before, and now it's like,
it's like, oh shoot. What?
Kind of sucks.
Yeah. Maybe it's like turned around on OP for the first time or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she's treated other people like this.
I'm sure.
Whatever the case is, it's just terrible.
Oh.
Your own mother. I refuse to share a room with my step siblings, so I moved out.
Irrational.
I'm 16 female. My parents split up before I was born. Custody is I live with my dad most of the time and my mom every other weekend, plus randomly staying with her if I want. Recently, my dad got engaged to Hannah, and she and her kids are moving in. Hannah's kids' ages are 9, 7, 2, 2, 2. She is widowed, so they live with her full time. By the way, this comes from Secret Anonymous 12, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit, and I'm Angie.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We're just going to guess what we would do in this situation, but let us know what you would do in the comments. So, OP says, this made room arrangements a bit awkward since there's only 3 kids' bedrooms to go around. Dad and Hannah talked it over last night without consulting anybody, and Hannah came over this morning to announce with my dad what they decided. Apparently, they want 9 and 7 to each have their own rooms, and they want me to share with the triplets because my room is significantly bigger than the others, and quote, I don't stay there full time. I said their plan was stupid, and they wanted me to share with 3 toddlers. They said they didn't want me to move, but it was the biggest room, so other people should share. I said I didn't care if I switched rooms because the more logical move would have been the triplets in the big room and 7 and 9 share and I get my own. I said I'd take the smallest one until I move out. They said it would be more work to move my things to another room and their idea was more practical. Then they asked why I was so pressed since I didn't even live here full time. I said not staying in the room 4 days a month was a sorry excuse to land me with a bunch of toddlers, and if they seriously planned on doing it to me, I'd make the custody arrangement change, and I would stay with my mom for the most part. I know she doesn't mind because both of them remind me that I could stay with her whenever I wanted. This made Hannah cry because she just wants her family to blend together nicely, and apparently I was ruining her plans.
Hannah, you can't just expect a 16-year-old girl to want a room with 3 toddlers she doesn't know.
Dude, yeah.
That's insane.
That's
You're
so
insane.
Because it's like they're small enough to be in like, small beds, maybe a crib, but like also big enough to move around and talk to OP throughout the night.
They're old enough to scream.
Yes, most importantly, they are.
I don't like that.
That's also just silly to expect, like, oh, I just want my family to blend together. Why isn't it blending together? My family doesn't like my plan. Like, that's not...
I literally want to throw you in a blender, chop you up into little pieces, and mix you with my 3 2-year-olds. Then you'll be blended.
That might be a little far.
No.
But that's
well,
okay.
I mean that in the metaphorical sense that they are completely taking over OP's sense of like independence or identity in her own space.
To move things around, it's like, okay, then don't do it. I'll do it. Like, calm down.
Putting her in the food processor.
Calm down. So this made Dad mad at me, and I'm not allowed to talk to Hannah until she forgives me. I didn't know this meant so much to them, but I'm still saying that I'll stay with my mom longer if I have to share with toddlers. But my dad made me feel a bit guilty, so am I the a-hole? And we do have some comments, but pretty sure we have our answer, right?
Yeah, we all know the answer to this.
Comment number 1, Cake Eating Rabbit, says, not the a-hole. They know what they are doing to you. They only act like they don't. You sharing with the triplets makes you care for them at night and as soon as their bedtime begins. It is not practical at all. Where should you hang out between their and your bedtime? Living room with them? I would assume Hannah wants you to leave and your dad either wants you to babysit or simply doesn't actually care if you are there, but they want you to be the bad guy. Pavatar says, this is what I think too. Hannah wants OP to move out, so she insists that OP share her room with 3 toddlers. Her fake crying and hurt feelings and tactics to manipulate OP's father. And yeah, I totally agree with these comments. They really just like want OP to take care of that didn't matter there.
Yeah,
but
it's crazy to be like, I just want my family to blend together. It's like, no, you don't.
No, you don't. Because it's like, what's going to happen? Like, are you just going to go into the teenager's room multiple times through a night to, like, check on the kids or, like, come to them when they have a nightmare or something and they start crying or wake them up bright and early because that's what kids do? It's like, no, you're going to have the 16-year-old take care of them.
Them trying to call that practical is literally insane. And I feel bad because I feel like OP was probably gaslit a little bit to feel like, oh, well, maybe is it practical? Like, what? And it's like, no, it's not in any way. It's practical in that you don't have to watch your kids anymore. OP has to do it.
I agree. Okay, but we do have an update. So I'm at my mom's house, at least for the weekend, while the adults try to work things out. But my mom said I was welcome to live with her full time, and if I really wanted, we could change the custody agreement. Also, thank you for all the replies. I really wasn't expecting this to blow up as much as it did, LOL. And now we have an update number 2. Everyone talked, but Dad and Hannah are staying with their decision, and I've decided to move to my mom's long term, and we're going to switch the custody around. So I'll only see my dad every other weekend, and I'm just going to sleep on the couch when I'm there. Obviously, nothing is set yet, but that's what we're going to do. And thanks, everyone, for being so nice, haha. And thank you for going to listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. There is a little bit more to this story, and this one is from, we have an update from a year and 3 months later.
I really like Kim Fine's comment. I don't know why, but I don't like that the oldest is 9, which is the square root of 3, which is the number of 2-year-olds, and 2 is the age gap between 7 and 9. You're like Jim Carrey from the number 23. which is a movie. Has anyone here not?
Is it a movie?
Has anyone here besides me seen that movie?
And Kim Fine says, I had 2 under 2 and I'd take a low grit tampon over 3 under 2. Oh my gosh. That is hilarious.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I didn't
That's
need to hear that.
Impressive.
You didn't need to say that one.
We've got an update 1 year and 3 months later. I still get messages here. I just found this account again, haha. So I thought I'd update whoever sees this. I still live with my mom and love it here. Hannah openly dislikes me, so I don't even stay for weekends anymore at my dad's house. We call sometimes, but it's what it is, I guess. Hannah's kids are fine, but I only see them on holidays. Also, Hannah's pregnant again, and 7 and 9, now 8 and 10, are going to share a room. So I guess it wasn't too much work in the first place. She just hated me. Dang, that sucks.
Parents, don't date partners that hate your children. That's
Yeah.
whack. That's really stupid and lame.
My mother used Google Maps to find me after I cut her off.
I cut you off. Get out of my life.
I'm about to go no contact with my mom and my stepdad, who is an enabler, even after their divorce, and who has recently started mistreating me as well. By the way, this comes from Deleted, and if you want to submit your own stories, you know where to go. Go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And we're here to give good advice goofily. That's our only job. We really don't know that much. If you have anything you want to say, let us know in the comments.
You were born to do it.
Opie continues. My mother's mother, while sometimes being problematic, was an amazing grandma who treated me with love and warmth overall. However, she never wanted to hear it when I talked about my mom put me through, since you're not supposed to talk ill about your mother. Well, Grandma, she's putting me through HE double hockey sticks.
There's only things to talk ill about, or else you just have to not talk about her.
She genuinely likes to ignore issues because she values family so much, and probably, honestly, doesn't know any better. While I'd like to stay in contact with my grandmother, she has a history of getting extremely upset and angry whenever someone doesn't adhere to her standards or values. Oh, lovely.
Perfect trait in a person. We'd love to see it.
Got a royal flush here, Opie. That includes anything to do with marriage, kids. She gets extremely upset over me mentioning not wanting kids, and family in general. I have no doubts that she will take on her role as a flying monkey, as she has always done that, and that any time I talk to her, she criticized me, my lifestyle, and my decision to go no contact, or beg me and try to work it out with my mom. I also wouldn't put it past her to try and invite my mother along whenever I'd visit her. What? I don't understand why people don't understand these kind of things.
We're taking the whole, like, respect your elders thing way, way too far.
Yeah. Sometimes elders suck, right, Keon?
They do sometimes more than just suck.
Uh-oh.
What else do they do, Keon? Huh?
I'll leave that to your imagination, Riley.
Put it in the comments what else elders do.
However, thinking about cutting her off along with my parents feels cruel, since she was kind and loving towards me most of the time and took good care of me. I'd like to hear about y'all's experiences with grandparents after going no contact. Have you gone no contact with your whole family, including grandparents? Or do you still talk to them? If yes, what was that like? And did they try to make you apologize or talk to your no contact parent?
Huh.
I kind of have a grandparent that I don't talk to, but we also aren't close.
Like, it's not really because of, like, a dramatic situation. It's just kind of vibes.
It's just they don't really have a tie to the family anymore, so we don't really talk. And I don't reach out. I feel kind of bad, but that's just how it is.
I was going to say, I went no contact with my grandparents.
Really?
I never knew them.
Oh, well, I was never contacted by my parents.
Unfortunately,
They
I
were
only
not alive.
I had my grandpa and my grandma on my mom's side, but my grandpa passed away when I was like maybe 4, so don't really remember that. My grandma's still alive, and I talk to her from time to time.
It's nice.
That's about it.
Dude, Sammy Lee says, OMG, this sounds so familiar to my life. I'm currently no contact with my mom due to a physical confrontation over the summer.
Ooh.
I'm actually going to type it up and write it in a Reddit post. I also get but she's your mom. She's been sending her flying monkeys yesterday and today. Then I get a message from her asking for a truce.
Oh, gosh.
That is so complicated to navigate.
Yeah, let us know in the comments, like, how you would go about that. Because I'm sure even if there's a reason for going no contact, there's some sort of state and level of grieving that relationship. Like, even if you don't like them and you don't want to be around them, you wish you would. you wish they would be someone worth being around.
OP, it sounds like your foundation is with your family at the moment. To go no contact, you have to set up another foundation somewhere else. You should be set. It's going to be tough to set up that foundation with friends and everything, but you really do need that community support.
Yeah. Or you'll have some good time being alone and learning how to do that.
I don't know. I feel like, especially with grandparents, they're from a different time. So, like, obviously, they may have a different mindset and they don't believe in no contact or, like, putting up boundaries that, you know, may work for you. They're like, whatever, work around it kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
Update. My mother wants to show up at my doorstep. I live across the world. Almost 1 year since the previous post.
a lot can happen in a year.
A long flight to get to me unannounced.
That's a really funny knock-knock joke.
Yeah, right? I've talked to my stepfather, and he told me that he met my mother, who asked him about me. When he said he doesn't know anything, he promised he wouldn't talk to her about me. She dropped that she plans to fly over to the country I moved to a year ago and just show up to my doorstep. Mind you, I went no contact before moving and was always afraid of her just showing up while I was still in the country. She does not know my current address. She knows nothing besides some pictures my grandma has probably sent her and the workplace of my husband. But now I'm scared she'll just show up there and find him or something. Or that someone gives her our address if she tells them a good enough lie. Goodness gracious, I had a bad day and it now just got worse. When will this be over? And we got an update 2.5 months later. It's a
Gosh.
possibility.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, if she did all that, I would not be surprised. I would be shocked and upset if she did everything else, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Hey, just Home Alone your house.
Yeah, right. Booby trap that place. Gosh, that is so stressful, though. I mean, I wonder if you could. I'm assuming that eventually we're gonna find out that you were being tracked on Google Maps. And my advice will probably eventually be like change your password, get her off of there, all that good stuff, because you have to like approve that you're sharing your location with Google. So she probably logged into like your email or something and then did all that. But my goodness, that is truly so stressful. Restraining order if you need it.
Nelda, I'm going to tell your grandson. My grandson better not go no contact with me. That's right. That's right. Update 2.5 months later. My mother has found my new address through pictures she got from other family
Oh my gosh.
that I stupidly shared a year ago.
Dude.
She used Google Street View to locate the buildings and found the exact address.
I was gonna say she's like that one person who like sees GeoGuessr. She like saw the rock. She's like, that's the rock.
See, that stuff terrifies me because if you have to do this, I feel like you have to do this just kind of in general now with the internet these days. But like if you have to be so careful to not show pictures of your house just to your family because your mom is gonna like do all this stalker crap. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know that some people know where we live.
That's
Some people know where I
Great.
live. I heard from my stepfather. They are divorced, and she doesn't know we still speak. That she has booked a flight for October and will try to find me.
oh my gosh.
She also located my husband's workplace because he is listed on their website and wants to show up there too. I am shaking. I don't know what to do. I will call the police if I can't find a way to prevent this.
Yeah.
But it's going to be really hard to communicate because we don't speak the language well enough yet, and the police is generally not that very helpful when it comes to stalking. I don't know whether to contact her or tell her to F off, or whether to try and convince the family members that are in contact with her that I am back in my home country for the time being. I don't know what to do at all. If anyone has dealt with this and has any advice, please help me. We have some comments. I need some advice. I have a thought.
I don't know what to do here, especially since I was gonna say get a restraining order, but since I don't know what country you're in, but
Yeah.
it sounds like they don't really have stuff to prevent that.
Right.
I would message her and be like, where are you gonna stay? Because you're not staying in my house.
Yeah, okay, so that.
I wonder if you can, if you can talk to her and like tell her off at the very least. Because I think restraining orders need to have some sort of proof of a threat and like a safety concern. So
Mhm.
if it's just harassment, I don't know what the deal is.
I was going to say firefighters, bikers, or any group of, I don't know, burly men.
Yeah.
Because if, like, let's say this happened in the States, I don't know, it'd help if I were you in this scenario. I'd go up to a biker and be like, hey, can you help me, like, make sure she doesn't come, or could you scare her off? Like, I really, really need your help.
And that biker says, No, leave me alone. I don't know you. You're a stranger.
Oh, really?
Sounds like your problem.
I feel like if you buy a biker a drink and maybe ask for help,
He'd be
they
like,
help.
thanks for the drink. Your problem. Good luck.
Really?
What bikers are you talking to that would
It's
be like,
a biker gang. I feel like they'd help out the community.
okay, maybe. But
Maybe if you join the biker gang. If you join the biker gang, it's like, all right, gang, I need your help. Huddle up. I need my mom off my back.
I would just say, what are you trying to do? Because it's, if anything, it's not helping. Don't even waste your breath and or your money to do this.
Yeah. Awesome Ashley says have her arrested when she shows up. I feel like we've heard a lot of stories about that of like, get off of my property. And then if they don't, then you're like, all right, Popo, come on over.
Yeah.
Get her out of here.
We could help if we give them some substances, the bikers. Okay.
No.
Oh, there are police biker gangs that help out like that? Oh, that's really nice.
Well, I don't think we're in the States.
Oh, biker gangs do help, especially with kids.
So you're going to act like a kid and be like, goo goo gaga.
No, that would not help me out.
That would probably.
I don't know. I'd probably hire my brother. Be like, hey, go talk to those bikers. All right, Revelant comments. Can you take a trip or stay in a hotel when she comes? Make her think she was wrong and that you've moved? He says, I wish I could, but we are tight on money. I've considered lying to family that I know speaks to her and telling them that I'm returning to my home country. Maybe she'll cancel the flight then, and then we'll be safe from her for a little while longer. So we can figure out what to do.
Ooh, I was going to say maybe for like the time being, swap with maybe like a friend, like swap houses for like a little bit.
Go on that old show, Family Swap, and,
Yeah.
or like wives. What
House swap.
mothers?
Do a house
yeah,
swap.
Yeah, and then they show up and it's just a different family.
Oh, wait, Nikki Wolf. I had a biker group find out I needed help with medical expenses, and they put together several poker runs. I would go to a biker for help. Hire them for security if you have to, but bikers do help.
That's good to know.
All right.
I'm sure they're nice people.
I've also briefly considered having a friend she doesn't know open the door and act like they live there. That's also
Oh.
smart.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be good. Just we gotta do an old trick-a-rooney.
I'd like that. I feel like that's the best case scenario here.
But what if she comes back and like the friend's not there?
We'd have to just like install cameras, check the little peephole before.
You'll have to get, cameras and everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say definitely good cameras. So you have proof of all this stuff. I think gather proof of everything anyway, just in case you are able to make a case for yourself
Yeah.
for a restraining order.
So we're not even halfway done, guys.
Wow.
Another update. Thank you to everyone who replied to the post and gave me advice. My husband and I have read through it all and have carefully considered our points. We have consulted with a lawyer, the HR staff, and security of his workplace, and have talked to someone we know who works for the police. Unfortunately, we have received the same feedback from all of them. There's nothing that we can do until the situation escalates. So we have decided to just wait and see. My mother did not arrive on the date we were given by my stepfather. So at first we were relieved, thinking she didn't go through with her plan. However, about a week later, my stepfather sent me screenshots showing that she was indeed here and had rented a car intending to head our way. She also brought her current boyfriend. They came by our apartment and stayed for 45 minutes total on our property.
Whoa.
They did ring our bell and knock, but we did not open the door, nor respond in any way. We did not see them or hear them for the rest of the time they were there, but a neighbor informed us that they rang at his door, asking him about us and showing him photos of our car and my husband.
Oh my
Later that
gosh.
day, at about 10 p.m., they returned again, but we didn't open the door, and they left fairly quickly. What
That's crazy.
That's wild.
I mean, like, I don't know what they were expecting because, I mean, they were blocked on everything. They were absolutely no contact. And then what? You want to show up at, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to, like, fight it out or do you want to try to say something to me? Like, what is really that important that you have to show up like this?
This could have been done over email.
Yeah, right? Like, you know my email, you know my password, apparently. If that was really the case, then there's different ways to do this.
I feel like the mom was playing like the eyewitness intro, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Like it goes through like the little museum with like, it starts with like the parrot flying through.
Okay.
Do you guys not know that?
I don't think I do.
Oh, you youngins.
It might be the thing if I saw it, it would like bring back a memory.
Oh, if you saw it, you'd be like, it's that?
Yeah.
And it's just playing through the mom's head like it's an adventure. Like, I'll find her, and when I get there, it'll be all working out, all according to plan.
It'll be like that song Betty by Taylor Swift.
Katie, why doesn't OP already have a restraining order? I think in the country that she is, they need more evidence.
Yeah, they said restraining orders are difficult to go through.
I don't think she like went to the cops yet because she also doesn't know the language very well yet and might be hard to explain.
There's a lot of factors. It's not that easy to get one. However, the next day, things got a little worse with them, returning a total of 4 times, knocking and ringing the bell, as well as calling our names in the front door and trying to look through the windows. They again rang at the neighbor's door, but all of our neighbors refused to give out any information, which I'm really grateful for. W's in the chat for the neighbors.
Let's freaking go. Dude, I'm making them all a plate of cookies each and thanking them, apologizing for burdening their day with my problems.
They again left very quickly, but we could hear through the door how my mother's boyfriend suggested that they catch my husband on his way to work the next day. Your mom's boyfriend's so smart. It's like an evil villain explaining their plans. What the heck?
Yeah, literally. You're monologuing over here.
My husband and I agreed that if they show up again, we'll call the police immediately. I told my grandmother, mother's mother, to let them know that we will be informing authorities if we see them again. She responded by calling me cruel and stupid and saying that I'll have it hard in life, and asking why I had no problem letting my mother support me financially while I was still in school if she's so awful. She also claimed that my mother doesn't need an invitation because she's seemingly going on vacation.
It's just vacation. That's all it is. She's not stalking you at all. She's not crossing insane amounts of boundaries.
It's just a coinkadink.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're in this country too?
Imagine telling that to immigration. You're lying to immigration if you're saying that you're going for vacation. No, you're going for stalking.
Yeah.
You're traveling for stalking reasons.
Long story short, I had to block her as well, which was painful because I have beautiful memories of the time I spent with her as a kid. Despite all, my grandmother seems to have passed on the message because they are nowhere to be seen today. They haven't ambushed my husband on his way to work, nor have they shown up on the property. They have not given up, though, because my husband got a message from an unknown number, which turned out to be my mother's boyfriend. Hello, husband's name. Could the two of us talk somewhere? I would like to explain our actions and talk with you about the situation so that you can understand it better. This is a bad situation for OP and her mother. I think it would be important to discuss the causes and to work on them so that they eventually can find ways to rebuild a new relationship and start again. It cannot be the right way forward to live with this kind of attitude and hatred towards one's mother. I hope you understand that a mother will try anything to find her daughter, to talk with her, and to try and understand things, to clarify things, and to work on their relationship. If now is not the time for that, then maybe later, but please let the two of us talk about it. I hope you're willing. Tell me when and where, and I will be there. That is crazy, man.
That is so crazy. Because it's like, okay, I don't know. I mean, depending on the situation, obviously we heard about their bad upbringing. And I'm sure it's like way more complicated than they can explain in one post. But if you did really want to rebuild a relationship, maybe there's a way for that to happen. But this is definitely not the way. Like if everyone else in the family is telling OP that they are traveling to you, and we're getting so much information about mom from the other family members, why can't they just pass on the message of like, hey, I really want to do everything that I can to have a relationship with you. Can we talk?
Yeah.
And a lot cheaper than flying across the country.
I know. She should have wrote a letter.
Yeah.
My husband simply replied that there was nothing to talk about when it comes to and reminded them to stay away, and if they don't, the police will get involved. The boyfriend response to that was a harsh term. That is exactly what I wanted to speak to you about, so that you can understand and work through it whenever the time is right. At the moment, the hurt clearly runs very deep. OP's mother loves OP and only wants her to do well in life. She has also acknowledged that she has made mistakes. It must also be in your interests to give the two of them a chance to talk things out at some point and start anew. Don't just accept the situation as it is. In the long term, ending this relationship and repressing things is the wrong path.
Who said I was repressing things? I can process things on my own.
It feels very manipulative. It seems like this guy's in a good place, but I'm not buying it. I'm just not.
Not at all.
You buying it, Keon?
Even if it was free 99, I'm not taking that.
She could have called or FaceTimed. I know that she's blocked.
Like, to play devil's advocate, maybe she does really feel this way. And maybe she does just like wish that they had a relationship. But
Sure.
it really doesn't seem like she's taking any accountability for it. I mean,
Yes, that's what we're missing.
yeah, we're totally missing accountability. We're totally missing any sort of understanding. Like, you're already, before we're even talking, saying that is not a good word, and you're telling me what I'm feeling when you don't know me anymore. We're no contact. You've left me. You didn't take care of me. I'm distancing myself from you. You can't pretend like you know me.
I just want to know the thought process of like what you were trying to achieve by doing all of this.
Yeah.
Like, did you think this was gonna work out really to your benefit? Of like,
Right.
I'm not gonna tell her. I'm gonna show up across like in this country that I've never been to,
Right.
and just surprise, like everything's gonna be cool, and you're gonna hear me out.
Yeah, it's gonna show how much I care, and we're gonna really make a difference. OP's gonna apologize, and I'm gonna be the victim.
I just want to know what the mom said to the boyfriend of like, yeah, just come with me. We're going on a vacation.
Ugh, this is so weird.
Yeah.
Obviously, we decided not to engage with him any longer, as he, just like my mother, seems to fail to understand how creepy and inappropriate their behavior is, and how distressing it is for us. To be honest, I did not expect my mother's boyfriend to come along on her stalking trip, let alone enable her so much. Bro's whipped. He knows what he likes. He's stuck here.
Maybe he's just into the crazy.
Yeah.
No!
He's just also crazy.
Maybe he was like, that sounds crazy. I like that.
That sounds crazy.
That's kind of hot.
kind of hot.
I genuinely don't understand what stories she possibly fed him to make him feel like any of this is okay. He seems like a reasonable person the few times I have met him, but clearly that was a misjudgment on my part. We have documented every single one of their visits and messages, and will definitely alert the authorities if we see them again. My husband's work is also informed on high alert, and we have received amazing support from everyone we know. Since they can't stay here forever, as they both have jobs and lives to get back to, I just hope it all will be over quickly and that they are gone, hopefully for good, in a week. It's all been really hard emotionally, as I, despite everything, am feeling incredibly guilty and sad, but also extremely angry. I can't imagine to start or finish anything right now, as I feel on edge 24/7, waiting for the next ball to drop. I hope it's all over soon. We got an update.
Oh boy.
It sounds like it's about to be over with.
Hopefully. I mean, there is a whole nother update. So
It's short.
mom gets entitled feelings from her mom, but no one owes their parents anything.
Yeah.
That is true, because at the beginning of the story, it was saying like, oh, you can't say that about your mom. It's like, well, watch me. Like,
I'ma do it.
I'ma do it though.
Just try and stop me.
Yeah.
Update 4. Some of you have seen my posts about my mother, who has found my new address in the new country via photos I had sent to my grandmother, and has shown up with her boyfriend. Well, since everything went quiet after threatening to call the police, we thought that it was over and they had left the country again. However, make it stop.
No.
I found a letter from her in my mailbox today. I kind of expecting it, considering that she has exhausted every possible way of communication in the past except this one. She should have started with this one, and you, please go to your favorite podcast platform, search up OK Storytime on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. You can hear more stalker stories. We have like maybe 3 more out there. You have to find them though.
I'm sure we've got more than that.
Any predictions of what this letter contains?
I think it's going to be, I'm going to leave you alone now.
I think it's gonna be like, well, I just wanted to make things right, and you're not letting me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be that vibe.
a little accusatory. I'm feeling accusatory.
Your poor mother. I just feel so sad without you in my life, and I can't believe you're doing this to me.
I'm just trying to be a good mommy.
Yeah.
Yeah, guilt trip. Ugh.
Guilt trip, victimization.
Take a trip back home. Get out of here.
Pack your bags.
Maybe it's like, you ruined my vacation.
I spent so much money. You gotta pay me
How
back.
dare you?
We were going to hang out and do all these things.
Yeah.
The letter was a very long apology letter with a plea to give her another chance. I've gotten variations of this in the past with a lot of self-pity, and it has always been very hard for me to read these. Ever since going no contact, I carry a lot of guilt inside of me. Before no contact and shortly after, she was cruel and unfair to me. But the more time passes, the more her messages and letters have softened, making it hard for me not to feel like a piece of crap after reading them. I genuinely don't want her in my life. I don't love her. I don't think I will ever feel comfortable in her presence. And I am forever damaged by the abuse she has put me through, fighting every day to lessen the effects of it, to even be able to approximate the kind of person I would have to be without all of this. I have severe anxiety, depression, and a panic disorder, and I'm still afraid of rejection to the point of physical pain. I am nowhere near who I am under the layers of trauma. Maybe anyone has advice on how to deal with this guilt or can give me a bit of perspective on this. Oh, that was a tough one to give advice on.
Honestly, I'm glad you're standing your ground though, and her manipulation and guilt tripping wasn't working on you.
I love this little village we got too. Everyone's like supporting you, making sure no information's leaked.
Yeah, you got people behind you. There's definitely people out there that have experienced similar things. I was watching like a interview on Drew Barrymore show with Jeanette McCarthy.
Oh yeah, Jeanette, yeah.
Yeah. Is that her last name? McCarthy?
Oh, the one from iCarly?
Yeah.
I'm glad my mom, she has another book coming out.
If you know what I'm talking about, they were talking about that kind of image of their mom, of like realizing that they both had like a mothers, and then they were talking a little bit about like feeling a kind of guilt of like defending their moms, like, yeah, they did this, but like she really only meant it like this or whatever. And I'm so glad that OP's not doing that, because that's something that they both said that they had to like get over and really acknowledge, like, no, this was harmful and this was not okay for her to do and act like. So yeah, I'm glad. So yeah, there's definitely people out there with similar situations. I mean, even people in our own chat have been in similar situations. So I am really just proud of you, OP, for sticking to your beliefs and your feelings and not letting her take over like she wants.
Everyone, what's your biggest regret as a parent? I'd like to know.
Whoa.
Linda says, I've made mistakes
Don't
with my
answer
kids.
that. If you don't have to answer that.
Please.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
I've made mistakes with my kids. I can only hope that they weren't so bad that my kids will ever stop talking to me. I let them know I'm here when they need me, but never intrude on their business. They've all grown and made their own life decisions.
My mother sent me away because she doesn't want to be a parent anymore.
You're not my mom anymore.
My mom has pretty much decided she cannot stand to be a mom anymore and has asked my aunt to let me attend high school where she lives. My aunt cannot have kids, so she was willing to take me. By the way, this comes from Lucy Diamond Sky, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, this means I have to move 200 miles away to a good school, but not the one I grew up with. I am a junior in high school this year, and it will mean I have to do all my work over again. Making friends with people, getting to know teachers. Not only that, I have been in drama for the past 2 years, and I was supposed to be a drama director this year. My mom is ruining my life with this. I feel like I will not be able to do all the things I worked for and thus put on my college report. I will be the nobody, like they'll let me be class treasurer if they don't know me. I have a job here with good hours and an understanding boss. I'm not sure what to do, but I have tried talking to my mom. But my dad divorced her, and I have not spoken or seen him in 9 years, so she says I need to let her live her life. She signed up to go back to school, quit her job, and is on student loans. She sold the car I was supposed to use to get to work, and has been giving me boxes. Your mom is crazy.
I feel like, did something happen?
Something must have happened, because this feels like a breakdown.
Drastic change.
Yeah. I am supposed to move in a week right before school starts at my aunt's. I need help.
Yikes.
Genuinely, I don't know what you can do.
The only thing
I was thinking, like, any really good friends.
That's
Yeah.
Like, I know it's a stretch, but, like, I knew people in high school that ended up living with friends for various reasons.
Absolutely. I
If
think
you can find, like, a basement somewhere, pay rent a little bit with the job you have,
talk to your aunt, say,
get
hey,
a
I'm gonna
bike
do here.
to get to work.
And then, over the summer, you go to your aunt's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's literally what I was going to say. Staying with
I
a
think
friend.
that's a great idea. Relevant reply says, how's the relationship with your mother? It just hurts because up until this point, we were close. Now it feels like she was only doing that because she had to. It feels like she's going through some sort of breakdown.
I feel like something in her brain snapped.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. But
Seems
this is
well beyond a midlife crisis.
Yeah. She always was the person who had my back. I just feel like she is a lie. Are you a rebellious teen or going through a phase? I'm not rebellious or going through a phase. I'm actually really respectful of authority. Have a job, 3.9 GPA, extracurriculars, and I don't smoke or drink.
That's what every rebellious teen says.
No, the
Sure,
second that
yeah,
we
no.
heard that she had a
Yeah.
job and was about to be the drama director,
No,
I was like, this kid is
Yeah.
fine.
No, I agree. Yeah, same. Where does your dad live? I don't know. He sends a check to his lawyer, and I have not seen, heard from, spoken to him, or had anything to do with him. We are not aware of his current location. Have you lived with aunt before? I stayed with my aunt for 3 months when my mom injured her back a year ago. She's fine now, my mom, and there is little to no pain. I liked living with my aunt. She had me do chores and help around with her animals and plants. She also said I can bring my dog and cat with me. But I feel like my world is turning upside down. I am 16. I don't do anything. I work and pay for myself. I drove around and paid for my own gas. I just don't understand why my mom looks at me like I am some horrid burden. She can go to school. I don't care. I just thought I mattered. And another person asks, how is your aunt? I do love my aunt. She's a nice woman. And it seems unfair that my mom, who apparently didn't ever want me, great thing to hear, had kids and she could not. She works with kids, has a lot of spare income, so it could work out for the best. She has told me she would love to take me with her to England over Christmas break, because there's no way in heck I'm going to see my mother in the next 2 years. If she didn't want me, then she doesn't get to have me around when I'm an adult. I feel hurt and betrayed. I just don't want to be the girl that her mom rejected. Have you talked to your aunt? Is your current job part of a chain? Ask if your employer will write you a letter of recommendation. And OP says, I work at Subway, so maybe I can call up a few of the other ones and see. I have a great record for being on time and staying late. If I can, I am in high school, so there is a limit on my hours. I'm sure Mr. B will be willing to do that for me. I am his sandwich daughter.
Sandwich daughter.
I will miss him. Auntie has been in touch with me. She said my mom is being stupid, but she would love to have me. She says she wants to take me clothes shopping, get me new bedding, and repaint the room before I get there. She's really trying hard, and that is the only thing about this whole crap situation that really makes me feel a little better. Well, at least you have a really good aunt. I love that.
Yeah. And
And
it
a lot
sounds
of
like your
people-
job will transfer. so-
Yeah. And a lot of people are saying menopause, which I could see because that can cause a lot of like personality changes.
It's crazy. I saw
yeah.
a couple people being like, did anything happen from the back injury too?
Yeah, there's a lot of different reasons for if she's never done anything like this before.
Something just feels off
Yeah.
for such
OP.
a switch.
Are you from West Philadelphia? Are you moving to Bel Air?
This is the story all about how.
Literally, her life turned upside down.
Yeah. Well, we've got an update. I ended up going to my aunt's. She came and packed up my whole room with me and drove me to her house. It was really hard because my mom was already talking about selling the house and moving to some other city so she could start her life. I still have a lot of pain from what she did, but living with my aunt and uncle has been a great experience. My boss got me a job at a Subway where my aunt lives. That's amazing.
Yay.
I really like the people I work with. I started dating someone at a new school.
Oh, okay.
And
so
we've been
already
together
started
for 5
school.
months.
So
This is amazing.
new adventures.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes life throws you a curveball and you have to restart a lot of different things, but also it opens the door to other things. Dan, 17 male, is great, and we are in the same grade. He just turned 17. So we had the whole year together. School is ending in a few weeks, and we have plans to go to the beach with my aunt and uncle for a week. I met some new friends and got involved with volleyball and took part in drama. I am also assistant treasurer because I was able to talk the teacher in charge of the group and said I wanted experience. When she saw my transcript, she said I could assist the girl who got the position. The girl, Jolene, is actually really cool, and we became pretty good friends. I still keep in touch with my friends from home, but I really feel like I have a great support system now. I haven't told anyone why I moved here just yet, minus my boyfriend, because it's too embarrassing, and I don't like to talk about it. I was doing really good and had decided I didn't really want to see my mom again, because who abandons their own kid? My mom came up last week, and she has been waiting around to see me. I would not. I don't know how I could ever see my mom again after that. I didn't know why until Saturday because my aunt finally told me. Because my mom barged into the house and refused to leave. Auntie asked if I wanted to talk to her, and I told her I would. My mom said she was so sorry for the way she treated me that she wanted to know if I would move back for my senior year.
Nah, that's
No.
crazy.
That is
Nope.
insane.
That is
That's-
insane.
What is this whiplash?
To completely uproot OP's life and then to try and
Twice?
uproot it again.
Nah.
She said we would pack up any time I wanted. She then asked my aunt if she could stay in the guest room. No.
Bye-bye. Go home.
My aunt said the room was mine. My mom said Lucy doesn't mind sharing.
Yeah, she does.
No.
Lucy minds.
Lucy minds. My mom tried really hard to get me to chat with her alone, but Aunt stayed with me. Came out that my mom wanted me to come home because her boyfriend left her and she blew through her money. Oh, this mom is so terrible. Auntie told Mom she needed to leave and then told me that my mom had been calling her about the check my birth father sends her. Wow. I guess she contacted the lawyer, said I was in her custody, and my mom signed the papers my aunt asked her to. Mom didn't realize it meant the check was coming to Auntie.
That's crazy.
So she wants
Yeah,
the,
The money.
She wants the
money
money.
for the kid that she's not watching.
Mhm.
Exactly. Who said she put most of it into a savings account for me. There are some things she needed money for, and I'm grateful she's paying for me and keeping me. It could have been so much worse. By the way, it could be so much better if you listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I'm so glad that the transition went so well.
Me too.
And that, like,
Yeah.
that seemed like the whole scary part at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's like, actually, you flourished and then are doing great.
Yeah, you have new friends. You have a
Yeah.
boyfriend. You're, got
You
the
still got
assistant treasurer
involved in
role.
everything that you wanted
That's
to be.
incredible.
Yeah.
The
Even new
job,
stuff with volleyball, you kept
Mhm.
your job.
Well
like,
adjusted.
You're chilling.
I'm
Just
very
stay with
proud.
Aunt.
To
You
anybody,
know what
uh,
to do.
To anybody who's like really nitpicking to like, why are you here? Why did you move? I mean, you can just be like, hey, just go watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
Just watch that.
I'm Will Smith. So I just told my mom not to contact me again. It hurt a lot. The only reason she wanted me around was because of a check. That said, I guess my aunt has my father's number. She said he wants to talk with me when I'm ready. So there's that. I'm not sure what to do now. It just hurts. And comments, your aunt is awesome and you should do something nice for her for Mother's Day, as she's been more of a mother to you than your own mom. Opie says I'm taking her out to dinner and paying for it. I'm excited. This will be the first time I saved up enough to do something really adult, like go to a sit-down place. And that's the end of the story.
My mother-in-law believes every lie her grandson tells, and it's made me the villain.
Ah, we love a villain origin story.
I'm not sure what her problem really is. Me and my boyfriend moved in with her about a year ago, and things were okay in the beginning until my boyfriend's nephew, which would be my mother-in-law's grandson, moved in with us too. But for some reason, she started treating me differently. The nephew and my mother-in-law talk bad about me behind my back, and I really have done nothing but be nice to both of them. By the way, this comes from user Forever Royal, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota,
I'm Keon.
and we're here to give you some good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so if you would do something different, let us know in the comments, as OP says. He's gotten into her head big time about me, I think. He talks awful about us to her. Some of the things she does, for example, always, and I mean always, giving us snooty, dirty looks. She makes smart comments to me all the time, complaining about literally every single thing I do, even the way I wash dishes. She says I need to do it her way. My boyfriend got into a wreck. We were sideswiped by another vehicle, and unfortunately, it totaled out her truck, which she never even used, by the way. But for some reason, the nephew and my mother-in-law thought I was driving and totaled her truck. It's like, why do they think it was me when it was my boyfriend? She just thinks awful about me, and if I use something of hers, for example, the vacuum, she's instantly at our door knocking and asking if I'm done with it. She's got mad at us one time and went around the house to put notes on all of mine and my boyfriend's belongings that said, Bob and Taylor's things, do not touch. All because my boyfriend asked why there was a note on the milk his nephew bought that said, no one can have this but me and Grandma.
That's weird.
What is going on? What is going on here? She got mad because she wanted to know why he was being selfish like that, so she went around the house and put our names on all of our stuff just to be smart. basically because she was upset and thought that we were causing problems talking bad about her grandson. It's so immature and childlike. I also can't have any friends over because the looks and smart comments I get are literally insane. My friend Haley came over to hang out with me the other day, and I could start to feel the tension right away. She started giving me dirty stares and looks, but I ignored it, like always, and decided to get some water out of the kitchen. Of course, here comes my mother-in-law. She looks at me so hatefully and says, "When is your friend leaving?" And, well, you know your friend cannot move into my house.
What?
Yeah.
She's just visiting.
I was like, who said anything about my friend moving in? She said it in the rudest way possible, but she doesn't ever say anything to the nephew's friends being over for hours and hours. My friend was only over for a couple hours, and my boyfriend literally told her before she made that comment to me that Haley was locked out of her house. When her grandmother got home, I was going to be taking her home, but she still came to me with the smart comments. Every time I have someone come over, which is super rare to begin with, because all my friends tell me that they feel very unwelcome and very unwanted whenever they come over, her and the nephew talk so much crap on me and my girlfriends. And when I say we don't bother anyone, I truly mean that. I was washing my car yesterday, and she asked me if the car soap I was using was her grandson's. I said, no, this is my soap. It's like, why in the world does it matter whose soap it is?
You should be like, there's a sticky note on it. See? It said our stuff.
When are we moving out? Right? Mother-in-law was hoping I would say yes so she could tell me to put it back, because apparently I'm not allowed to touch anything that belongs to my boyfriend's nephew. And we've been nothing but polite and shared anything that anyone wanted. No one even has to ask me to use my things. I just wasn't raised that way, and I don't care if anybody uses my car soap or anything of mine that's in the garage if anyone needs it. They're more than welcome to use it. We all had a very big talk about 3 months ago because I kept wanting to know why I kept getting horrible attitude from the nephew about every little thing that I said or did. So we all sat down and talked, and he told me that he thinks that I take advantage of his grandma, which would be my mother-in-law. I asked him, how is that? He said, well, for example, you wrecked her truck. And I said, I absolutely did not wreck her truck. He said, well, that's what Grandma said. I looked at her and I said, you know that I wasn't the one who wrecked the truck. She looks up at both me and my boyfriend and says, well, I wasn't for sure who it was. I just maybe thought it was you that actually did it.
So you just kept banking on that, even though we've told you numerous times that I didn't wreck the truck.
Yeah.
But you're still gonna play I don't know card.
Here's
All right.
we're at the direct confrontation stage.
And she can't.
Yeah.
She's like.
Yeah. My boyfriend looks at her and says, no, Mom. I told you I was the one who was driving, not Taylor. So you did know it was me. But yet she's still telling Christopher she thinks it was me who wrecked her truck. And it's just that they both have this hate towards me. I really don't know why, because I'm literally one of the nicest people anyone could ever meet. I haven't done anything to either of them.
Also, does she think you guys wrecked it on purpose?
Yeah, it's like you got sideswiped.
It was a side swipe. You're like, hey, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take my mom's truck that she never uses, and we're gonna go just like monster trucking. We're gonna go in the hills and just go yeehaw. Let's do this.
Would have been a better way to total it for sure.
The fact that she's holding that against you and like, how are you feeling? Are you okay? That must have sucked. Are you hurt? Like, come on.
I just want to know and need some advice. Do you really think this is jealousy? Why am I being treated like this? I'm not really sure exactly what to do, but today, Bobby finally confronted her, which is my boyfriend, and asked her why she asked me if it was Christopher's car soap that I was using, which is the nephew. She told him that she was just asking just to ask because she was just curious. Bobby's like, I don't think you just asked if that's Christopher's soap for no reason or to just start conversation. And she got so mad that we asked her or confronted her and slammed her door like a child. That's right, because they don't know how to act once they get put on the spot, and all they have to say is, well, I was looking for problems. No, I was just trying to start conversation by accusing and being aggressive, asking her if that's really her soap. Yeah.
Not even, how was your day? Or how is your day? It's just, Is that my grandson's soap that you stole from him?
Here we go. About 5 minutes later, here she comes knocking on our door telling us that we needed to move out because it just wasn't working out here anymore. All because we asked her why she was asking if it was nephew's soap I was using. And another thing is we borrowed $80 from her the other day, and she has been hounding us about paying it back to her, which we did. However, his nephew has gotten 4 DWIs in the last year and owes his attorney somewhere around $2,000, which she paid $2,500 to get him out of jail as well. And she just keeps throwing money towards the nephew's attorney and trying to get him out of this trouble when we hardly ever borrow any money from her. We put all the groceries in the house, which everyone eats, and I have no problem with that until his nephew starts putting notes on his stuff that he's bought, telling us basically not to touch his stuff. We give her cash every now and then to help her out, but the nephew doesn't give her anything whatsoever, not even a penny. He doesn't help buy groceries in the house. He just sits around and is lazy and smokes all day. But he told her he thinks I'm the one taking substances, so now they think that I'm this big tweaker. He gets all up in her head about me and my boyfriend. He even told her that he thought we were going to try and hurt him, which we have never been any type of threatening or anything towards him. But you can head towards full episodes of stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to a ridiculous amount of stories.
I want to say 77
A lot. A big old number.
days.
We've got a little bit more story left, but you got to move out.
Get out of here. I want, yeah.
Just find anywhere else to go and don't reach back out to her. Just be like, you this out of your house.
Yeah, you know what?
For just confronting you about your behavior.
And you don't want to deal with this. Get out of the house. You're dealing with 2 children, really. It's just, ugh. It's, ugh. And it's going to be so funny by the time you leave, I guarantee you, one, since grandson is so lazy and doesn't do anything, she's going to start asking him, hey, could you help around the house? He's like, no. And she's like, oh, wow, that was OP and what would be son. Sorry, mother-in-law. That was OP and my son helping out so much. They were doing everything.
Yep.
And oh wait, could you lend me some money for like rent and like helping you out? No, Grandma. I just getting out of here.
Yeah. Who's to say like exactly why or what? I know there's a lot of questions in the post, but like, what's going on? Is this jealousy? Who's to say what it is? But like, it's not really important. What's important is that her behavior is like super toxic and negative, and you should just remove yourself from it.
You asked, and you got technically your answer. So you know what? It's not the answer you wanted, nor is it a real answer. But you know what? No point in dealing with it. No point of searching for it. Don't have to go on a safari for this answer. Just get out of there. Live a comfortable, quiet life.
The time to now leave has arrived.
Yep.
I literally just sit in my room, especially when my boyfriend's at work. I just stay in my room, keep to myself, and don't know what the problem is. Could someone help me understand why this is happening or what her problem is? Is it even jealousy or is it intimidation? By the way, she's not married. She's had 2 divorces because she couldn't get along with either of her husbands. She has to have full control over everything, it seems like. I don't know what to do, and I don't know how to end this kind of thing unless we really do move out, which apparently she wants us to do. Any advice on why she's like this or what the cause of this would be? There's so much more I could go on for hours, but it would take me forever to write. That's just the basic things that go on in my daily life, and I don't know how to handle it. Why is she like this? Is this jealousy or what? And that's the end of that story. Again, that's not really the question. The question is, where are we going?
When do we move out?
Yeah. Let's make a plan. Let's find our next spot. And then just honestly leave this person in the past.
No,
You are not obligated to maintain a relationship with this person.
It's not your mom. I know it's your mother-in-law, but it's also not your place to be like, why is she acting like this? And you could ask your partner this and like, why is she acting like this? And he could be like, I don't know, she sucks. Or, like, could we go ask her ex-husbands, why is she acting like this? And I guarantee you they'll have the same answer. We don't know.
Who
That's
knows?
her.
She might not approve of you as a partner. She might just not approve of any partner. She might be jealous because she doesn't have a partner. she might just favor her other child's
it's the,
family. But it does not matter.
It's the open question of why did the chicken cross the road? Like, people will say to get to the other side, but like other people like say something else. Why is she like this? At this point, who cares?
It's just the way it is.
I think my future mother-in-law is gonna be an issue.
You can still clock out of the relationship, you know.
And this one comes directly from the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I, early 20s, have been engaged to my fiance, early 20s, for 3 months. I have been very happy and I love this person dearly, evidently, hence accepting the proposal. My mother-in-law-to-be is a difficult woman. I suspect she has a mood disorder and she is currently on antidepressants, but I do not consider her to willfully or knowingly be a bad person. By the way, this comes from ambitious expert Aitah1, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit, and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, my fiance is currently going through a difficult time in his life, and it is a very gray area whether it is his own fault.
What?
Okay. I believe it is unfortunate, but he did not do anything reckless or stupid. He may just be struggling with his mental health and it got out of hand. He called to tell his mom, and her first reaction was explosive and concerning. She showed no real desire to understand or help him and immediately started screaming on the phone, blaming the engagement for ruining his life and saying it was my fault. For clarification, we already lived together before he proposed, so no huge changes had occurred besides my title as his future spouse and a gorgeous ring on my finger. He insisted she was wrong, but to no avail. After about 5 days of constant back and forth between all of us, fiance and his mother and me, even his grandmother and me, I'm tired. I feel it is unfair to be blamed for something I had no part in when I have been nothing but helpful to him.
Yeah.
He works while I am currently unable to because of my chronic condition and mental health struggles. So I do everything around the house and support him. No one makes me do this. I purely consider it fair since he provides things like gas and other expenses when I am unable to. And he takes care of me when I am too sick to care for myself. Our dynamic has always been one of unconditional mutual support and relentless attempts to understand and help each other. While I believe I have influenced his life for the better, I also admit he has helped me more than anyone ever has, excluding my mother. This has worked very well for us. I always felt my future mother-in-law didn't particularly like me, but I put it aside because he was always standing by me.
Okay. If like a mother and a parent-in-law doesn't like you,
Yeah.
but the partner's strong,
Then we're okay.
but if the partner's not,
Then we're not okay. I assumed she had issues with how young we are, even though the wedding is postponed indefinitely due to financial reasons and potential loss of health insurance benefits if we were legally married. However, after her outburst over the phone and accusations that her sweet child is changed and unrecognizable, I am seriously concerned.
I don't understand. Fun fact, tomorrow, or people watching on YouTube, we have an episode with a mother-in-law expert.
Ooh, yeah,
Tomorrow.
we should have had this one. She could have told us all about your mother-in-law.
Yeah, so I just don't understand why mother-in-laws like kind of want to marry their own kids.
It's weird. Yeah, enmeshment.
My baby boy's gone forever.
Yeah, you lose this control, and sometimes the control feels so.
You think it's a control thing?
Yeah.
Huh.
All along, she had she was shaping her son's path, and then his early 20s, he decides to make this really big decision to get married,
Yeah.
and she loses control. She's no longer his main family. His girlfriend is, or his fiance now.
Okay.
She is out of touch with reality when angry, accusing me of brainwashing him and teaching him to say horrible things.
Okay, yeah.
She even accused both of us of being on hard substances, though neither of us take any. I cannot drink because of my medication, and he hasn't either for the last 6 to 7 months. Where is that adding up? I eventually had a mental breakdown and called her to tell her that my fiance's grandma, so her mom, had told me she ruined her life, and I'm tired. She has managed to tear us apart.
What does she have anything to do with your relationship?
Well, it seems like OP told the mother-in-law.
Mom.
No.
The mother-in-law's mom.
No,
I thought.
OP told mother-in-law that grandma-in-law thought that mother-in-law ruined.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think so.
That was a very
Yeah.
confused. That's wild. Yeah.
She proceeded to call me 9 times, but I did not answer. After a few hours, I texted her, "I'm sorry," as I felt I could have expressed my feelings better. She replied, "About what? Lying." I called to clarify what she thought I lied about, as her mother had allegedly said things she now denied saying, despite repeating them multiple times to both me and my fiance. We ended up talking for 2 hours, during which she clarified that she does not blame me for anything. She blames her son either for being on substances or for being so in love he can't think straight, and that he just wasn't strong enough to handle the engagement. I am now in a sort of decisional limbo. I have a very difficult and traumatizing life so far, and I only wish to live in peace. He is my greatest comfort and support, but she is eating away at my mental health. He insists he will always protect me and stand by me should a definitive choice ever need to be made. He did tell her off for what she said, but she accused me again of teaching him what to say. And I'm going to teach you guys how to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. All you need to do is go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Go no contact as soon as humanly possible.
Yeah, he needs to really cut contact if she's acting like this, because this is too much.
Yeah, and if he's a good partner, he would understand your boundaries.
Especially if he's about to marry you.
Yeah, and your
Don't
mental,
marry him if she's still in the picture.
your mental health is at this much of a turning point with her.
Yeah.
It should be clear as day for him to be like, all right, I'm going to protect you. I want to be there for you. I understand. As long as like it's no contact with her between you and her, I think that's fine.
I do not wish for him to cut her off. I have lost a parent to no contact. What mine did was much worse, and I know how hard it is. I refuse to be the reason he struggles. I am worried she may be a big threat to our happiness in the future. Yeah. If he has never let me down in this way before, can I believe him when he says he will choose and protect me? I do not want to risk losing everything we have built just because of fear, but I am terrified of living a life with a family, particularly a mother-in-law, who has so many issues after barely making it alive and sane from my own past. Advice is welcome. Oh, man.
The only way she can not affect your life is she's not a part of it.
If she's not in it, yeah.
Do with that as you will.
I feel like you're not forcing him to go no contact with
No.
her, but that has nothing to do with you. You can go no contact with her. I feel like
Yeah.
that's fine. If that's really going to be an issue, I think you have to have a conversation with him
Yeah.
on
Yeah, so
where
I don't
you
want to
stand.
talk to her. I don't want her talking to me. And you have to figure out what you're going to do with your mother-in-law, but she's not going to be part of my life.
Yeah, exactly. You can't force, again, good on you for not forcing him to be like,
Yeah.
I don't want to cut him off from her, but you can cut yourself off from her.
But that is the end. After decades of neglect, my mom suddenly wants to be my friend.
Okay, Mom.
In an attempt to give some context, I, 28 female, was an baby between my parents who had a turbulent relationship on a good day. They haven't been together for any of my life and do not like each other. Mom, 50s female, was a heavy drinker the entirety of my growing up and beyond. Pair this with some self-absorbed tendencies, verbal abuse, and she's not my favorite parent. By the way, this comes from El Friday, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Vincent.
And I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says she missed a lot of school and sport events because she either forgot, was wasted, or some combo of both. And also probably a trigger warning for child neglect. And maybe alcoholism. Lots of other parents giving me rides home because she'd throw a fit if dad gave me a ride home because it wasn't his time. She didn't like that I wasn't stereotypically girly and wasn't subtle about it. She married and had my half-brother with a not nice man. He was great with me until he realized I'd never seen him as more important than my bio dad. Through college, I tried calling weekly, but despite being a stay-at-home mom, I'm not knocking this, she never had the time to talk or was too tired. So naturally, I stopped calling. She can call when she has time. Skipping over a lot, he and my brother are verbally harmful, really into pew-pews, and according to my mom, also physically harmful. I've seen enough to believe her to an extent, but history with her also has a lot of false accusations and making up stuff that I was there for. I was wary enough that I'd lock my bedroom door to sleep when I'd visit for holidays. About a year ago, she finally left him, has her own apartment, and is in the middle of a very rough divorce. She's been sober for a year and change, but I've been through enough that I simply don't trust her to remain that way. I am so happy she left him. I'm sorry, she's going through a rough time, but I'm tired of being her crutch. She started calling more 1 to 2 times a week instead of maybe once a month. One of the times she brought up that I don't call her anymore. And I said something like, I don't really call anyone. Which then came, well, I'm your mother, so you can call me. I've had her on an information diet for years because I don't trust her to respect boundaries. She has made fun of any that I tried to set, like, don't call me at 6 a.m. unless it's an emergency. One of the early phone calls included an apology for anything she did that hurt me while she was drinking. No real thought into what she did, just that blanket statement. In her mind, that's absolved her of everything, and we should be a regular Lorelai and Rory Gilmore. I just got a text that she wants to have a good chat because she really feels our relationship could be better. I get a sense of dread every time she calls. It's usually just bland small talk, but she's been pushing more and more for me to schedule a visit. Pandemic has been a handy excuse. She's been better than she was while I was growing up, so I feel like I should give her a chance. But I feel like I'm just repeating the same cycle we've been on for my entire adulthood. Trust her to be my mom, works for like 6 months, get blown up at because I don't want to take her recommendation for a trash can or get a call from a family member about her being on a bender. Get hurt. Personal life suffers because it triggers trust issues and anxiety. But she's also in a really low place right now with the divorce and having minimal contact with my brother too. How do I tell her that the fact that we're still talking is about as good as she's going to get? And we've got some replies from OP. OP says, I've been working on a response that balances blunt truth with not putting the explaining how her actions have affected me on my shoulders and keep focus on the boundaries. I've made a list and am making a point of repeating this isn't up for debate or compromise, and point blank that she has to respect what I'm asking for. Emphasis on respecting when I say any variance of no. I'm calling her tonight, so fingers crossed. I'm definitely worried that even if she does respond well to me, being honest with her, it's just her doing what she needs to keep me around while she needs support. I want so badly to trust that she's better, but I don't know what would have to happen for me to do that. I'm sorry to hear about your dad, but glad you've been able to maintain distance. I think I'm willing to give her a call, but to your point, I don't know that I want a conversation. Other comments have definitely given me a lot to think about in terms of what exactly I'll say, but I don't think I'm interested in hearing her side of things. Just, this is where our relationship is. This is very concise reason why. This is what I'm willing to put in. And like you said, if she gets upset, that's my cue to mute her. I needed to hear that. That's something I've been trying to avoid. I've been trying to give her the benefit of the doubt that she was blacked out, didn't remember, but it doesn't change the impact of her actions on me. I almost did cut contact a few years ago, but I was still trying to have a relationship with my little brother. So much for that. I think there's part of me that wants to confront her, have her react poorly, and have a good reason to finally cut her out and have a stricter low contact boundary. On the other side, if she does react well, I don't know that I would trust it to be genuine and not just her doing whatever it takes to make me stick around while she needs emotional support. Then it's just more walking on eggshells. I had to type that out to realize you're absolutely right. This could be a fruitless conversation that just cost me a lot of emotional labor. I'm sorry you've experienced, I think to the commenter, similar. And OP responds to another comment saying, yeah, I don't know that a good response from her would even really bring peace. The more I think about it, the more I've realized it's more about me being able to get it off my chest and not hiding. I think I'll at least have that regardless of her response. And there is an update. But what are your thoughts? And Dakota, what are your thoughts? Put it on you guys.
Yeah, that's man, that's tough. But also, yeah, it sounds like you're ready to move on past this relationship with your mom.
Yeah.
That, and you're free to do that. If you want to have this like talk with her, I think you're right in like having your set boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, even though like she might be apologizing for stuff that she did when she was blacked out, that's no excuse because she still got blacked out. It's tough, but you don't really owe her much.
No, I do think it would be probably, it might be good to have that conversation just for you to get stuff off your chest. But I think going into it with, it's hard not to have hope, but trying to go into it with just, you don't owe her anything. You can have this conversation and still not need to have a relationship with her.
Yeah.
It can just be like,
if you need to get some stuff off your chest, get some closure off stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't let her like hamstring you into anything.
No.
that you're not wanting to do.
Exactly. But update 3 days later. I guess I wanted to give some of you told you so rights. I was able to use bits and pieces from almost every comment, from preparing myself for it to not go well / needing to hang up on her, to making sure I didn't fall into the trap of explaining and listing out past incidents. I basically said the following. I'm happy for the list of accomplishments she had. Unfortunately, none of that erases 20 plus years of lack of support and actions by you that clearly indicated I wasn't a priority. I'm not looking for explanations nor apologies. I've worked hard to make my peace with it, and I've worked hard to get our relationship to a point where I can maintain my mental health and have you in my life. So when you say it could be better, in my mind, it's right where it needs to be. If that's to change at all, I have some boundaries that need to be followed. List of boundaries, some specific, but 2 big ones of respect, my boundaries, and respect when I say no. If you want us to talk more, I'm happy to pick up the phone. You have every right to ask things from me, but have to respect when the answer isn't what you want to hear. That's all the things that OP, I think, has brought forth to their mom. First question was if I thought our relationship was better before my stepdad came around. No, says OP. Next, OP's mom asked for examples of when she didn't support me. I told her she'd have to do some reflecting because she was there for the same events I was, and it's not fair to me to ask for that emotional labor. She said she had done lots of reflection and couldn't see it until stepdad came into the picture. She pushed a couple more times for examples. Is it 'cause I missed some events your dad was at? She stopped when I called her out the second time for deflecting responsibility for her actions. I told her multiple times during this portion that she doesn't have to remember or own up to anything, but she does have to live with the consequences. Her last question was, is there any way we could ever push past this all? I told her this is what past this all looks like. She pushed back a little bit, but when it was clear that I wasn't moving an inch, the call ended with, well, thank you. You've given me a lot to think about. She's just like, can we just forget about this?
She needs to do some more work.
Yeah,
She needs to-
tons more.
Yeah, and especially can we just push past
Yeah.
it? That there's no easy way outs in life, guys. You gotta go through it.
Yeah, gotta go through it, can't go around it.
Do the work. It's worth it.
None of her questions or responses were any indication. She was worried that I was hurt. She was trying to find justifications I might listen to, anything to poke holes. There was part of me that wondered if she always recognized how much neglect there was and just didn't want to face it. But claiming lots of reflection and not having a single incident come to mind that didn't involve blaming someone else answered that question. And I would blame you guys if you didn't listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I think OP's in the right here.
Yeah, I think OP has answered kind of and approached this so maturely.
Incredibly.
And it's clear that you've done a lot of work on yourself to put up those boundaries, and I think that's all you can do. Yeah.
And your mother needs to do some more work, and
Yes.
once she's able to like see what she did and like truly understand that, and maybe I don't know if they're clean or not.
Yeah.
Maybe getting clean is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe, but that's completely up to you.
Yeah.
If you want to open up that channel at all. But
Absolutely. It's like even if she does do all of that work and comes out of it a better person, maybe that relationship is always going to be a little bit, fractured from what she did before. But we've got a little bit left to this story. While she was calm, while she tried to respond, her tone was very tense. Worst case here, she continues to try to push boundaries, and I cut off contact, and it's one less stress in life. Best case, she respects them, and it's one less stress in my life. I know this is likely a case of she'll respect them until she doesn't. The important thing for me was that I was upfront with her and set clear boundaries. I've done my due diligence to telling her how our relationship could change. I used change instead of improve very intentionally with my mother. I'm relieved. Ball's in her court, and I have some answers. Thanks again for the advice, sharing your own experiences and encouragement. It gave me the confidence and a plan for that phone call.
My mother was scammed, and it ruined everything.
Quit ruining everything, Mom.
Last night, I got a call from the state police informing me that my mother was the victim of a Nigerian/Jamaican scam ran over the phone and through the postal service.
She fell for it. The Nigerian prince.
This scam had been going on for 12 to 14 months. I'm an adult, female 32, and have lived approximately 4 hours from home for 10 years. Apparently, she was led to believe that she won the lottery, but was told by the scammers that she needed to send some money so they could free up funds or whatever. By the way, this comes from user Blue Shirt. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Angie.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. So if you would do something different, let us know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, you'll hear about these all the time. So at first I thought, okay, she lost maybe a few thousand. Live and learn. But no. The state trooper went on to say that she sent them money in prepaid cards to the tune of $194,000.
Holy moly.
No.
Wow.
I am concerned for your mother's mental health.
Wow.
To send, first of all, you won the lottery. Did you play?
Yeah.
Second of all, why do you have to send 200 grand of Google Play Store cards to Nigeria and Jamaica?
Oh, lordy.
They don't run the lottery.
Nope.
She then took out a home equity loan on the
No.
home she's owned outright for 20 years and mailed the scammers another $100K in cash.
I thought you were going to say
Oh my
mailed her
gosh.
home.
If I hadn't initially screened the call from the state police and had to go through dispatch to connect with the trooper, I would have thought the entire thing was an awful joke. I'm going home tomorrow to talk to my mother and figure out what the heck is going on. My question for you fine folks is, because I'm absolutely shocked by the scope of this issue, I'm pretty scattered right now and I need to cover my bases with her and figure out what money she has and what else might be going on. The $295,000 is gone, but she's got to live somehow. I'm hoping for some advice on things I must remember to ask and points I might not have thought of. The case is with the USPS and the FBI now, but the police felt that there was 100% no chance any money would be recovered, and I believe them. My mom is 66 and has a history of being pretty frugal, so the idea of her doing all of this is just way out there. I'm going to insist on a medical evaluation, but she does work full time, so I'm not sure that dementia exactly is a factor. I'll answer any questions if you need clarification. Any help would be appreciated. My mind is just reeling. Thank you. And we have some comments. Comment number 1. I'm so sorry this happened to your mom. I am a fraud investigator for a bank and see these situations all the time, and it's always heartbreaking. I'm wondering if she may have actually been a victim of a romance scam. That would explain a lot of her strange behavior. If she thought she was sending money to a boyfriend or fiance overseas and was blinded by love, it would make her a whole lot more likely to make those decisions. It certainly could have been a lottery scam, but the extremely high dollar amount and the extended time frame are usually indicative of romance scams. The scammers in this case are playing the long con. They make you fall in love with them, usually over at least 6 months, and then they start asking for money. They're overseas and want to come see you. They promise, but you just need to send them money first so they can pay their taxes or get an Ebola test or buy a plane ticket, etc. Here is a great resource about romance scams that we often share with our clients who have been victimized. That's romancescams.org. OP says, I am already planning on creating fraud alerts and probably closing every account possible to minimize the chances for continued damage. I don't know yet if this was a romance scam, but that's a really sick thing to exist. The state trooper I spoke to seemed to have pretty complete information, but I will be sure to double check with my mother when I talk to her to make sure that she's told them what she's telling me. And we do have an edit. But yeah, how do we handle our mom falling in love with the Nigerian Jamaican lottery scammers?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, hopefully that resource could help. I wonder like what's on the resource. Like if it's examples of other people in that situation. It would make sense if it was a romance scam because she kept it secret. Like I feel like if it was something else, she would probably be excited about it. But if she kept it a secret, it's like, well, yeah, maybe she didn't want to share that part of her life, especially if she's like still married.
It definitely does make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Because if you won the lottery and it took 12 to 14 months for you to get your money, I'd be like, All right, I would be like, something suspicious after week 2.
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's something is amiss.
Right.
There's something rotten in the state of Denmark.
Yeah, dude.
We haven't had it. Thank you, everyone, for your help. I'm both amazed and sad that so many others have similar stories about their parents or grandparents being scammed. But seeing several people talk about how they eventually got through it has been really reassuring, even if the stories aren't exactly happy ones. I have an action plan for things I need to do and questions I need to ask tomorrow. Thank you so much. And there is an update. I met with my mother yesterday. The scammers got her pretty good. Several posters were very accurate in detailing what happened before I had the details. She was told she won the lottery, needed X amount of money to pay taxes, insurance, etc. She cleared out her entire retirement. It is gone.
Oh my
And the
gosh.
home equity line of credit on the house is also cashed and gone. Although I did my best to explain to her that the way she sent the money in cash through the mail is untraceable, she is mostly convinced that since the state police reported it to the FBI, the government will be able to get her money back.
Oh my gosh.
I assessed her current financial situation, and while it's not good, it's manageable. She still has enough money to pay her current expenses. I got her scheduled for a doctor's appointment and will be attending the appointment with her, providing them with this information beforehand because I do want her screened for dementia and for depression. But honestly, I don't think she has dementia or even early onset issues. I think she was just lonely and gullible and maybe greedy and was a perfect victim. It's incredibly sad. I'm ordering her a whitelist device to prevent more phone calls. I am not taking charge of the mail just yet. I am following the advice of the posters who suggested I not add my name to her accounts. But I will be arranging power of attorney so I have access to that information. I do have a few questions that I know you can answer. My mom has a car loan for approximately $200 a month for about the next 4 years. Should I be encouraging her to take money from what limited savings she still has to pay off this debt now, or keep that money as liquid resources in case of other emergencies? Other than the home equity line of credit and some minimal credit card debt of less than $1,000, this is the only money she owes anyone. Could anyone direct me to layman-friendly tax information? My mother was able to withdraw her retirement without early penalties, but I'm not well informed on what taxes she may owe on that money anyway. I have encouraged her to discuss the scam with her tax prep person because one poster suggested she may not have to pay taxes on that money if we can prove that it was stolen, so to speak. I am paraphrasing though. Sorry. Last question that I need feedback on. My mother is at an age where she could retire and have about the same amount of income on Social Security as she does working. I don't want her to retire until the moment she sells the house and is ready to move. To me, it makes sense for her to keep working for as long as possible while she is hopefully healthy and able to do so. If anyone has helped their parents make this decision, I'd appreciate some advice on how to address this further. I did put a fraud alert on her credit. She insists that the scammers never asked her for her driver's license, social security number, or any banking or credit information. It turns out my mother was the one who contacted the police. Apparently, after she had already mailed them nearly $300,000 and they still wanted more money, she felt as though something was not kosher with the situation. Insert crazy laughter here. You should have thought something was up after the first $500.
Oh god.
In like Google store cards or whatever, like
Yeah.
in prepaid cards.
Right.
Wait, the lottery's like, I need you to buy 100 Visa gift cards that are worth $500
Yeah.
and send those to us. Also, yeah, send that overseas to Nigeria
Right.
and then you'll get your lottery money.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's how they do it.
Oh, and I'd like to point out that my mother went to a different bank than her normal one for the home equity line of credit, so the new bank wouldn't have suspected anything unusual was happening. According to my mother, the scammers told her to use a different bank because as a new customer, you'll get a better interest rate. How nice that they were looking out for her. Ugh. Guys, I'm just so sad about all of this. The money's gone, and she doesn't quite realize that yet. The plans we were tentatively making for her to sell her home and buy another outright are shot now that there's a HELOC to pay off. So $100K off of whatever she might get for her current home go towards that loan, and she's got whatever is left to live on. And by the way, we have so many full episodes with stories like this that live on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to the entire treasure trove.
Yup.
And you don't have to send us any prepaid credit Visa gift cards to get it.
Unless you win my lottery. Lucky you.
Lucky you.
Get to
You've won
pay me.
Angie's lottery. Send her $100,000.
I need to make that happen.
Well, we do have a little bit more story. Check in on your folks.
Yep.
Check in on your people.
Yep.
Make sure they're not getting scammed out of $300,000.
Woo, boy.
I don't think she'll get enough to buy a house in my area outright, at least not a decent house. So now we're looking at renting and downsizing, things that she is not mentally prepared to do. It's going to be awful. It's already awful. I want to thank everyone again for your advice and the help that you've already offered. I also want to tell everyone that when they are home over the holidays to talk with all their relatives about this story and make them aware of these scams and empathize how important questioning these types of windfalls can be in protecting yourself. If my mother had told me she thought she won a prize but needed to send money to claim it, I could have put the brakes on this hundreds of thousands of dollars ago. And that is the end of that story.
My mother-in-law moved in with us, and her habits are ruining our marriage.
Some houses have a monster. You guys have a momster.
About a year ago, I, 32 female, and my husband, 38 male, had my mother-in-law, 63 female, move in with us due to some personal issues she was having with her then boyfriend. Since then, it's been a nightmare, but not for the reasons one might think. By the way, this comes from Conscious Bread 4580, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Matt.
We're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. I want to preface by saying that I love my mother-in-law. She's a wonderful, generous, kind, funny, loving person. She's a great grandmother to our daughters, spoiling her with gifts and love as any good grandparent should. She helps us out financially. We don't struggle. She just pays her share of things like rent, utilities, and a small portion of the exorbitant monthly grocery bill. She's all around a lovely person to be around. The issue is regarding her cleanliness, or a complete lack thereof. To give some background here, I am undiagnosed OCD, and I recognized right off the bat what that sounds like, but I fit into almost every category symptomatically and struggle with some borderline obsessive habits, especially as it pertains to cleaning. I have always kept a nice, tidy house, even with a toddler, a dog, a cat, 2 birds, and a husband who did a lot of unlearning in his adult years regarding his own standards of cleanliness due to his childhood. He's expressed a lot of gratitude to me and his military service over the years for helping him overcome some of these challenges, as he's able to live an easier, tidier life because of it. I as well have made adjustments in my compulsive need for cleaning by reading extensively on my issues, and have learned to be more flexible with the need for perfection at all times, as I know it's not conducive to a healthy home life, nor is it anywhere near feasible. For our household, a normal day's chores are to cook dinner, give the baby a bath, ready your bag and outfit for the next day, unload and load the dishwasher after dinner, sweep the floors, and give the dog a short walk. This may sound like a lot for one evening, but it would generally only take us about an hour between arriving home and being completely done with everything, including eating, and ready to relax in our night and spend time with our kiddo. Then my mother-in-law moved in. In the interest of time, I will simply bullet the type of things we are now facing on a daily basis. Feces or urine on the toilet seat or bowl that must be cleaned prior to use. Feces or urine on her bedroom floor from her dog that is not properly cleaned. Dog hair in every room, all over the floor, furniture, counters, table, toilet seat, shower, drawers, and cupboards, including on clean dishes and laundry. Dog poop on the floor from her not cleaning up her dog's mess and either stepping in it herself and tracking it inside. We don't see this mess until we get home some 6 hours later. She leaves for work at 12 p.m. Is she not cleaning her feet off?
No.
She's just going to work with poop, dog poop feet.
Either she's completely insensitive in her feet area, or she sees it, washes it off, then leaves.
So by then, it's very dry and must be scrubbed off. Half or improperly done chores that ultimately just create more work or financial burden on us. Examples of this are only putting half of the clean dishes away from the dishwasher and then loading the dirty dishes so that we're washing clean dishes over and over again.
What?
This is weaponized incompetence.
Yeah.
This is there's no way
I'm literally
a normal
I'm kicking
person.
her out. I'm having a conversation with her and I'm saying, you have to fix this or you're leaving. I
The
don't
first
care.
time the dog poops,
Done.
hey, yo, dog outside. Cannot stay
Outside.
inside.
Sorry. Build
If
the
you want
dog
to
house.
stay here, you need to leave. Second time, hey, you can't stay here with your
Yeah,
dog.
you're gone.
Third time, you are gone.
Out.
You are gone.
Mhm. Leaving clean dishes piled up on the counters and claiming she doesn't know where they go. Overloading or loading food cake dishes into the dishwasher that will never get clean on their own. Then rerunning them over and over in the dishwasher without addressing the obvious, very glued on food. Putting away dishes in the cupboards and drawers with very obvious caked on food. Cleaning up after herself when making food or preparing her coffee, but leaving very obvious coffee streaks, stains, crumbs, and condiment strips all over counters. The microwave, fridge, freezer handles, drawers, and cabinet poles and fronts. Basically anything that gets spilled just gets the most superficial smear of a dry cloth, and she calls it done. Doing multiple very small loads of laundry that she then folds and leaves on top of the washing machine, which piles up to the ceiling and then topples over onto the floor of our basement. We've abandoned trying to keep the basement tidy, so if anything falls to the floor, it's doomed. The laundry is also so covered in dog hair that it often clogs the plumbing, which then requires my husband to go rooting around to dig out the blockage, and with all the poop and pee being washed out of hers and her dog's blankets, you can imagine what the backed up water must be like.
It's in their blankets?
This is my nightmare. This is my nightmare. This is by no means an exhaustive list of the issues that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And my husband and I are on the same page about enough being enough. Recently, sometime mid-December, she decided to purchase a new vehicle, which my husband and I supported because the vehicle she was driving wasn't a good purchase to begin with, and she'd been having nothing but issues with it since its purchase 3 to 4 years ago. The issue here is that she became enamored with a pickup truck, likely from how much my husband went on about how much he loved it. He's a mechanic and a truck enthusiast. That was simply too much vehicle for a little 60-something-year-old woman, both in performance as well as cost. The trim, tow package, and all its bells and whistles are included, making it a massive financial burden on her.
She can sleep
Use that
in the
money.
bed.
Yeah, use that money to buy a place. Now her financial support has fallen to the wayside, as she no longer pays her portion of utilities and only pays about half of her share of the grocery bill, as she's become up to her eyeballs in debt. Her truck and insurance payment alone is somewhere north of $1,000 per month combined. My husband and I have decided to cut her some slack, as she's voiced her concern with feeling like she's ripping us off from a financial perspective.
Yeah, well, she is.
You are. You're a terrible house guest. So we're only asking her for a portion of the rent, about $400 per month, and everything else we can simply eat for the time being. The caveat being that she trims the fat and sorts her finances in the interim. She's been working on obtaining a second job, totally unnecessary from my point of view, as she's a nurse and makes well over what my husband and I do combined, which is, of course, both good and bad.
Then sell the car.
Sell the car.
Get a more affordable one. Even if you want a
Literally.
truck, get a more affordable truck.
Truly.
And then, like, if you're making more than the husband,
Then both
then
of
both
them
of them
combined. Good because it means more money for her and less time in the house to make big messes. Bad because it means no time to relax and recoup from her work week and no time to spend with family or friends. In addition to the myriad of cleaning issues and the recent financial burden we've taken on, she struggles with regular use. Those who know anything about that know that it's very possible and likely to swap one less socially acceptable DOC for another more palatable one. My mother-in-law used to be addicted to pain medications and now struggles with control as it pertains to food and shopping. She also spends vast amounts of time glued to her phone to the point of neglecting my daughter when she has been left in her care.
This woman
Out.
is not
She's
safe.
gone. She's gone.
She's gone.
She's not
There's
being around my. I'm
no-
not leaving her in the care of. I'm not leaving my daughter in the
You
care.
can
of her.
visit, but you're never alone.
She has a very ill group of friends and semi-relationships that all sort of pat each other's backs and sink into victimhood rather than addressing the very real concerns their friends and family may have for them. This is exemplified in the way that my mother-in-law snaps and collapses in on herself emotionally whenever my husband or I attempt to bring any of her behaviors to her attention. We understand that regular use should be handled very delicately. Both my husband and I have struggled with our own forms of regular use, so for her to say we don't know what we're talking about is simply untrue and a juvenile tactic of avoidance. As of a month ago, we're no closer to a solution, no updates on her financial input, and she's totally ineffectual at lending help with childcare. Cleanliness concerns are stacking up. I'm so lost, and I'm struggling not to hurt my mother-in-law because I do love her, and I desperately don't want to hurt her in any way. But it wouldn't hurt us if you listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
That's like the opposite of getting hurt.
Yeah, it just makes it feel good. But folks, there's a little bit left of the story.
You got to get her out of there.
Get
I
her
understand
out.
that she's family,
Yeah.
but she's putting your daughter and your pets and your home and your sanity and your finances at risk.
Yeah.
Because you're paying to clean. You're spending all that time, all that money, all those resources to clean up her mess. What happens if your child or your pets like eat that dog poop?
Literally.
It's clogging up your
Just
pipes.
not safe.
It's in the blankets.
Yeah.
It's just
Not safe. It's not safe.
I don't understand how she can live like this.
I know. My question is, how much is enough? Is it at this point we give her the boot? Yes.
Yes.
Am I simply expecting too much? No.
Yes. No. You're expecting exactly the proper amount.
Yeah. Or is my aversion to her lack of personal awareness justified?
No. Yes.
Yes?
You are. Yeah. I mean, I thought I heard the just. I'm like, no. It is justified.
How would you go about handling this? I have my daughter to think about too, and we just can't keep living like this. Please, any suggestions are welcome.
Even without the daughter, like
And that's
human
the
and
end.
animal feces.
Not okay. I'm not living in that. And you shouldn't be putting your daughter in that. And you have to focus on your daughter. But that's the end of that story and the end of this episode, folks. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you and
See you tomorrow.